Our zero audience forever. Never gonna have any viewers. We occasionally have one, which is Joachim. He's probably gonna watch this at some time. Okay, I think this is the screen. I don't want to give you guys all the clues here.
You need to advertise yourself, Morton.
You know what? If I posted this on YouTube,
Yeah,
it would
true.
get views. It would absolutely get views.
If you were to sit down and edit it and then make it into
Right.
YouTube videos,
Exactly.
obviously you need to edit it. But yeah, if you sat down and edit it, put it on YouTube, you could then link it to the stream for when it's happening, and then we would be celebrities on YouTube.
Is that what you want?
No, not really. I don't want to deal with that shit.
That sounds super.
Get all the stream money. Alright, so you're in the room, Jericho. Jill Vermosta is standing in front of you. The room is trashed. There's just furniture everywhere, various clothing, and the bed has just been completely trashed. There's soot and black spots on the walls. The room is completely ruined, and will be for all foreseeable future. It's gonna need some heavy repairs. Her elbows have made holes in several walls. She's punched through some of the supporting columns. They're literally like her fist is imprinted in the wall, and so on and so forth. And you're just both standing there breathing heavily, and she rests next to the bed and goes, "So, I suppose you walked into the wrong room." And she gives you a maniacal smile. "Perhaps you regret ever meeting me. You will not be the first."
So, when she says that, when she showed her inquisitorial rosette, Jericho lowers his last pistol, and he said, "Actually, we're on the same side, and I don't regret meeting you yet, but I think you might regret meeting me." And he unties his scarf just enough that he's able to pull out his own inquisitorial rosette and show that he's from the Ordo Xenos.
Yeah, after a little while, you sort of simmer down, the smoke settles, and you're both left standing there. She looks at the door, walks over to it. To recap, she has curly, white hair in a bun, strict, dark eyes, and a permanent frown on her face. She appears very athletic, despite her attempt to hide her muscles under a stiff black dress that is now ripped open, displaying her various cybernetics. She has 2 cybernetic arms and 2 legs. She has a bunch of jewelry on that's hanging from her clothes. She has bionic implants going from her neck to the back of her head, and she looks quite intimidating. She looks at you and goes, "I don't think you could pass as a rogue trader anymore."
No, I don't think I can either. But I have a plan. You might not like it. And,
Be quick. I think somebody heard us.
I'm sure somebody heard the grenade. So, in the interest of time and not recapping everything that I wrote before, I'll just say that he outlines the plan to her. And just as a real quick recap, the plan is that if security shows up, which we assume that they're going to, there is a man named Captain...
You're gonna make me scroll through my documents.
Rico?
Oh god. Rico Duelis. Rico Duelis.
No, Captain Andon.
Oh, yes. And
if-
then Mikas.
Andon Emikas, that's who it is.
That's really good.
If Captain Andon walks through the door without a security detail, Jericho needs her to kill him. And the reason that he gives is that
She smiles and she goes,
Rico...
"My cover is blown anyway."
So Jericho, he grins a little bit. He says, "Yeah, So is mine. So we're gonna get a different one. And he basically tells her that he has influence over Rico Davalis, and he is going to take her prisoner and basically get her stored in Aver Arbridge, and then he's going to extract her whenever we get the key. But
She smiles, gives a little maniacal smiles and go, I suggest the opposite. I take you prisoner.
no, I have an entire team here.
And what makes you think I do not?
Because if you did, then you would have had more than one person waiting in this ambush.
Do a scrutiny test. You get a plus 10. Slow character sheets.
Actually,
There we go. it's your mouth. Okay. There we go.
Wait,
Yes,
why your target is so low?
You have an inspiration point?
I do not have scrutiny.
Okay, so you get minus 20 on that. Gotcha. You have an inspiration point. You want to use it?
No.
Okay. Basically, when you say that, she goes, no deal. I have a counter proposal. She basically sits you down, or sits down next to you. She's almost collapsing on the ground. You tell me what you are here for, and I will help you escape.
I'm not here to escape, and we don't really have time to discuss this. You are not really in much of a position to look like you took me prisoner. So,
Perhaps if I knock you unconscious.
I think you already tried that.
She takes up one of her hands, and you see these metallic hands just flex back and forth, and she gives you this maniacal smile again. She doesn't look entirely stable.
So, that's the deal. If by doing this, we can get closer to what I am assuming is our shared objective, then having you in the basement might be a good idea as well.
This is idiotic. They would just shoot me.
They won't shoot you. I'll make sure they don't. However, I need the captain dead, and in Himnikas.
I suggest we attack him when he comes, and then we make our escape.
No, I can't escape. I have to be here.
You hear this loud drilling noise outside the door. Starting up.
Can't we just open the door?
Yep, you sure can. Do you want to do that?
It's Fuse. Fuse was found.
What do you want to do?
Yeah, they actually just tried to seal the door permanently.
What do you want to do?
Yeah, I mean,
She does
I
not.
would,
She does not want to surrender, or pretend to.
That may be unfortunate. So Jericho will slide along the wall and move towards the door and open it.
Gotcha.
And he has his las pistol out on her now.
Yeah. There's basically a security lock on the inside of the door. You push the lever, and the door slowly starts to slide open. Outside, you see several men with helmets on. You have just enough time to do that. Jill runs to the other
With
end
who?
of the room. What do you do?
I see several men with what?
Helmets.
Guns.
You have 15
Helmets.
seconds to say what you're gonna do. 15 seconds.
She's run to the other room.
Is Captain Endon with them?
Yeah, yes, you see him.
So Jericho addresses Captain Endon and he says, Captain, she's a member of the Emperor's Inquisition. We have to capture her. I don't have time to explain yet.
Into the room, 2 men with las guns storm in. One of them gets close to the bed. They're both pointing their rifles at you, and they're yelling, "Get down!" They're doing the same to Jill Vermosta. What do you do?
So Jericho, lets his weapon come free of his hand, and then sets it down, and then complies.
Jill is gonna attack the guards. She's gonna storm one of them. What was that, Carl?
No, I was yawning, sorry.
Okay, can you mute your mic?
Yeah.
Thank you. First, the guard gets it. He is now... So he basically gets a Hulk Hogan smash, and he just goes flying back. It is a vicious blow. And roll for initiative. That was a surprise round.
Okay. Do I need a...
If you want to join the battle, that is.
I mean, do I need a token?
Not at all. Just remember your
What's the
initiative.
initiative again? 1d10 plus...
1d10 plus your agility modifier.
Yeah.
First number of your agility.
Oh, good roll.
Very nice. What do you want to do, Jericho?
I will wait for the human wrecking ball to continue wrecking. So I am effectively delaying my action.
Nice.
Can I just delay to the end of the round?
Yeah, no worries. Anytime, just jump in. I think it's got to be
Okay.
between 2 turns though. So, first guard is going to just stay on the ground. He's completely incapacitated. So he fails. He basically fires his gun once from the ground. You hear this loud blast go off. Then the other guard is going to quickly, he's aiming at you. He just takes a very fast pivot, aims at Jill, and is gonna fire. That's gonna be a hit. Your turn. Or you just took your turn? You waited?
Yeah, I
Do you
just
want to
delayed.
jump in?
Nope. How many guards are there?
2.
And the captain is with them?
Yes. His second in command is not there.
Okay. Jericho just waits still.
Yep. She is gonna attack the same guard again. That is of course going to be a hit. She's going to hit him once, and that's going to be a pretty brutal punch. Second hit, she gets 2 attacks per round. It's going to be more damage. Yeah, so she's basically just fucking beating the crap out of this guy. His helmet is crushed at this point. He's bleeding all over the bed, and he's just laying down, desperately trying to cling to his rifle, not to lose it. The 2 other guards, one is gonna attack. He's going to shoot at point blank. That's gonna be a hit. She is hit in the arm. The arm flings back, and she is barely wounded. The other guard is gonna fire. Single shot. And no damage. Do you want to intervene?
Is the captain concentrating on these 2 guys?
Yep.
So Jericho is under the pretense of kind of getting out of the way of the brawl. can I move to where it's really hard for the captain to kind of see me? Not very quickly, not like I'm hiding or anything, but Jericho just kind of like walks back a little bit on his hands.
To explain the situation, the room is just filled with smoke. There's gunfire everywhere. It's like a nightmare movie. It's just lit up again and again. When the laser fire shoots out, there's this red mist in the air, just covering everything. You're not even sure if the captain has seen that it's you.
Oh.
Yeah. So
I'm
really,
sorry.
it's really hard to see anything in here. And he also has his back turned to you.
Oh, he has his back turned.
Yeah.
Okay, that's totally different. Does that mean he's unaware if I attack him?
Yeah. Like I said, he was aiming his gun at you. He did a pivot, and he's firing at her, who's in the opposite side of the room.
So Jericho is going to do a called shot and aim at the captain in the back of the head with a charged las pistol shot. Oof. And I did reload my las pistol, by the way. I was just about out of rounds.
Yeah.
Good hit.
Jesus.
So that deals. It actually deals 6 damage.
6 damage. Gotcha.
And 2 pen, I believe, as well. With the.
Yeah.
Oh yes, that's right. It is 2 pen.
His head jolts forward, and you hear this loud grunt, and he staggers forward. Is that your turn?
Can I Can I technically take a move at?
Absolutely.
No, nope. Well, no, because I did a.
You did a full
call
action.
shot.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
True. So, you know what's gonna happen? Jill is gonna continue to kill these guys. She's gonna punch the first guy. That's gonna be a hit. Surprise, surprise. And he's dead. So she basically just grabs the visor of his helmet and then punches it into his eyes. And you just hear this squishing sound as he is crushed on the bed. Then she's gonna attack the other guy. Actually, no, he's standing a little bit too far away, so she's gonna run over to the door and just cover it so he can't get out. Your turn, if you want to do anything.
Yep. This turn I will not do a call shot. I will do a move and shoot again.
This guy is actually going to turn around. He's just going to fire his gun recklessly. He's going to hit you once for 8 energy damage. Doesn't hurt you, so it doesn't matter. Go.
It depends on where he hits me if that
Arm.
deals damage.
Arm.
No, I don't think so.
Your move.
No, it actually did 1.
No.
So
She has hit a couple of times too, but it's not enough to hurt him. And what was that, Carl?
I know, so it's like slightly scalded his arm.
Yes. So Jason, what will it be?
So he deals 5, 9, 14 damage to the captain.
Nice. 14.
And the
in 2 hits.
In 2
One-
hits.
Yeah, one is 5, one is 9.
One is 5, one is 9. Okay, that
Yeah.
changes it completely. So that is 2
And
very
it's a
solid
hit
hits.
to the 49 and 77.
This is a lot of gunfire going off here. That's going to damage him quite a bit. He's just like jolting back and forth, like falling over his other guy. And at this point, he stopped trying to utter words. He's just grunting and yelling out in horror as he's just being tossed around like a rag doll. Jill is going to walk over and basically try to kill him. And she does. With a lethal kick to the head. It's basically like a curb stomp. And he's dead. What do you want to do?
Are all the guys dead?
2 of the guys, yeah.
Shoot the 3rd guy.
No, they're both, there were 2 guys, both of them are dead.
Oh, okay, and the captain?
And
The captain was one of the two guys.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I thought there were 3 total.
No worries.
Jericho holsters his las pistol, stands up, and he says, "Okay, new plan. I don't think you should be in the basement, but you need to knock me out. Actually, no, just hit me really hard."
She's covered in blood. Half of her hair is like purple, pinkish. She's got blood running down the front of her. Basically, she looks like the Terminator now from the Terminator movies. Absolutely horrific, like a nightmare. Just rags of a dress hanging down, covered in blood. And she's breathing heavily. Goes, "You want me to punch you? Okay.
Don't kill me.
Don't move." Are you gonna move?
I want her to like hit me and hurt me, but not enough that I'm gonna like die.
Okay.
You know?
She takes a couple of steps. Sorry, what?
I need a shiner on my face to make this look authentic.
Awesome. She basically takes a couple of steps over, and again, like picture the Terminator, this like gigantic machine coming over to you, grabs the side of your shoulder very gently, and then sort of aims her fist at your nose, and then with like 3/4 power, just bam, snaps your nose.
Oh, that was a good hit.
You got blood running down the front of your cheek, into your mouth, down your throat. And she goes, "Very authentic. They will believe it.
Very loyal.
What is the next step of your plan?"
I
Another
think
punch?
we're already on to plan B. You should probably run.
"I will come back, and we will do this together. I know you are after the key."
That's right.
You get an inspiration point for awesome roleplaying. She goes back to the door, like walking back, almost like she's admiring her work, slightly smiling, stands in the opening of the door, and then jolts down the hallway.
So Jericho holsters his las pistol and makes sure that his concealed holster is well concealed. Which is supposed to be a deceive roll, but deceive is fellowship or intelligence.
Right.
I'd like to make it with agility, actually, if that's okay.
So there's a rule in Dark Heresy where you can change the associated characteristic. So you can do that.
Okay, so I'll just make an agility plus 30.
Mm-hmm.
Or, sorry, plus 20.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that didn't work. Shall use my inspiration.
Remember, don't press the plus sign, just the number.
Yeah, I forgot that.
Yeah.
But I would have failed anyway.
Yeah, you would. Okay, you use your inspiration and you succeed. So your gun is now completely hidden.
So Jericho like stuffs his gun. He moves his concealed holster around to where it's like it would be really hard to get to at this point. Kind of like up the middle of his back, maybe like pointed down or something like that.
Into the ass crack.
No, everybody searches the ass crack. Not that I have experience with this. I'm just saying. I have experience with this. But then he calls Rico Duelas. Does he pick up?
Okay, excellent. Yeah. After a little while, you hear, "Hello?" Worried voice.
Rico, I need you to get up to 502. Come alone.
We're having some issues. I'll talk to you soon. And you hear, and then he disappears.
Yeah, I bet he's having issues.
Yeah, exactly. So a little bit more time pass. I'm gonna do a couple of rolls here to see how Jill does. Let's see. Okay. So, is anyone in the lobby at this point? Down at the ground
Ross is
floor.
on the first floor, I guess.
Is anyone down at the ground floor? At the lobby?
Where was the place where Quentin was supposed to be? With.
I don't remember.
This was
Where was
someone's
it?
quarters.
Oh, okay, no, that's not the ground floor. So yeah, none of you actually see any of this. So I'm just gonna do the rolls. Okay. Cool. You sit there for a while alone, Jericho.
So while I'm sitting there, I want to take time to stage the scene and make it look like Jill was the one that shot people, and that these guys, like their las guns and stuff like that, were the ones that dealt all the damage in the room.
Right. So, after a little while, you see Rico and 3 of the guards come running up to the side of the door. They're pointing their guns around the corner, and they're going, "Hello?"
Davalis.
So, oh, sorry.
No, I was just gonna say, Davalis, it's Lagonway.
Yeah.
And when they walk around the corner, Jericho is sitting there in this smoke-filled room, and he's got this bloody face, and he's got like an ice pack on his head, and he's, inside his nostrils, he's got like 2 big clumps. If you've ever seen like Star Trek, yeah, when like Kirk after the bar fight, like that's what Jericho looks like, and he's just like laying on the couch.
Awesome.
Just like groaning.
Yeah. Holding his nose, like, yeah. As Rico comes to the door, he's, again, this overweight. He's lost most of the hair on his head. He has a tired expression, brown eyes, brown hair, quite pale, wearing Avery security uniform. He has barely managed to put on a flak vest. It's sort of hanging off one of his shoulders. He turns around in a monotonous voice and goes, "What the hell happened here? Are you okay?"
I feel like I got hit by a mag train. But I need to talk to you, Mr. Davalis. Alone.
Alright, just sit tight. We'll inspect the building. When it's safe, we'll take you to interrogation. Just stay there. He turns around,
Not going anywhere.
gives some orders to the men. One of the men stays in the room to guard you. They basically search through every room of the suite. The rest of you now are... there's no commotion elsewhere in Avery. There's just... occasionally you see a guard running at full speed, and everything else is quiet. This soothing music and beautiful vistas in the background. And they're doing everything to keep this under wraps. And none of you have actually seen anything, so we're just gonna skip to when Rico comes back to you.
Okay.
So he's basically gonna ask you a couple of questions. We can just automate this. He's gonna interrogate you. He's not the best interrogator, but you're gonna have to do some bluff target checks for me. So at first, he's gonna ask you why you were in the suite.
Jericho's not actually gonna lie or anything. He's gonna say that Jill had invited him here as a diplomat from Juneau, and that Jericho had come as a representative of the Senate to discuss what he thought were business matters.
Okay, so that is fine. Then he's gonna ask, who is the woman and why did she attack you?
Again, he is not gonna lie. He says he doesn't know her name. They fought in the...
She has introduced herself and told you that she's with the Inquisition.
she didn't give me her real name, though, did she?
No, she gave you Jill Vermosta, basically.
Yeah, so he'll just give Jill Vermosta as her name.
Cool.
And say that she tried to poison his drink, and he points to the amasec, which just kind of like is sitting on the table, and I really felt like something was really off, and she checked something over by the bed, and then she went over to the other room when she saw that I wasn't drinking, and all of a sudden there was this big explosion and all this smoke and stuff like that, and she tried to attack me, and so we fought in the apartment. Is he by himself, by the way?
Yeah, you're standing alone with him right now. There are guards in the hallways, though.
Okay. So describe that, and then Jericho looks at the door and he's like, if the door is closed, which I'm going to assume
open.
it is.
Half open.
It's half open.
There are guards outside.
Jericho says that they struggled, and she is a member of the Inquisition, and Jericho tried to get help, and so when the captain came to the door, Jericho heard drilling, and he knew that he couldn't beat this woman on his own, and so he tried to open the door, and she hit him, and she killed the captain and the guard, and she ran off.
This is going to be an easy bluff check because you're mostly telling the truth. Do a bluff plus 20. Deceive is the test then.
Oh, I knew. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, we just played Pathfinder where it's bluff. So that's going to be many degrees of success. He is going to believe you. Then he's going to ask the last question. Do you know if she's working for someone else? What was she here for? Is she an agent of some kind?
Well, he
A spy?
already told Duvalis that she was an agent of the Inquisition, right?
Right. So is she here for anything special? Is she after anything? What was her objective here?
So Jericho, he leans his head back and he's got his ice pack, back on his face, and he says, to answer that question, I really need you to close the door. What
He
I'm
walks
about
over to the
say-
door and he closes it.
So Jericho watches it get closed, and he goes, she had left like a little, kind of the same device that they had that ruined the indoor listening systems. And so Jericho gets off the couch and he checks it. And he tosses the bag of ice away, and he wipes his nose, and there's still blood all over him. And he says, my name is not actually Carlos the Gonway.
He grabs his rifle and halfway points it towards you, backing up against the door.
Jericho lifts his hands up and he's like, it's okay. I know what you think. I was sent here because some very important people learned that a possible Inquisition strike team was inbound to this location. I'm here to protect what's here.
He goes, I can't just buy that story without any proof. You realize that, right?
Jericho nods and says, I would not expect you to. And Jericho, I'm actually kind of hoping, now that I thought about the sequence of events, that in the time between the guards showing up, he called Duvalis and said, hey, I need help on 502. He would have gotten that message off to Mordecai.
Yeah, but you would have had time for that. for sure.
Okay. He says, sorry, I forgot what I was going to say.
No worries.
My name, I don't know if you care or not. My point is I'm a member of a unit called Detachment 12. We operate under the personal command of Lord Starlock in order to secure his interests.
His mouth
Right.
is half open. He's just standing
What
there.
I want you to do is I'm going to give you a number to call and a time that someone will pick up. If you call this number, they will verify my identity.
He looks to the door, looks down again, and you see his eyebrows sort of rest, and it's almost like he's disarmed for a second. I knew there was something off about you. God damn it. Why do I always get mixed up in these things?
Jericho grins and he's like, it's actually one of the reasons that I was interested in you. Most people don't see through the cover. My name is Colonel Emmett Kane. My code name is Vagabond. When you talk to the person at the other end of the line, give them that information.
He looks at you and then backs off the door. Now, about that proof, that's all you can give me? You don't have any identification on you?
I hate to say it, but when we go undercover, we don't carry identification, especially when we're dealing with members of the Inquisition. If the Inquisition knew that I was here, Lord Sarawak himself could be implicated. That means that there can be no trace from me back to Lord Sarawak unless I specifically give it. If the agent, Miss Vermosa, had managed to capture me, I would have done everything in my power to kill myself before revealing any information to her or the Inquisition.
He looks down at the ground, disappointed. Goes, God, I guess I'll be in even bigger trouble if I didn't. Do a bluff check. Deceive. And you get a -10 on this one.
Oh yeah.
Excellent. He's going to entirely buy your story. And after a little while, he opens the door and just like holds his hand for you to stay there. He seems to inform the guards after a little while. Yeah.
Mr. Davalis, could you send a doctor up when you have a moment?
He just he comes in the door frame and gives a single nod. He looks completely beaten down and like he has to put up with even more shit. And he disappears. Another guard walks into the room. You stay there a little while with him. After a while, you get some medical care, and you regain 8 wounds. So you stay there for quite a while. You also get an inspiration point for a creative solution. And we go back to the rest of the party as you're sitting there. Basically, the guards have been informed that you had no part in what happened. You have not. You've been ordered to stay though at the auberge.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, after a little while, you eventually get out of there. But before that, let's go to the rest of the party. What do you do?
Well, we're all separated at the moment, aren't we?
So what did you do during this downtime?
Well,
Well, Ross was tasked with stalking Collinus Torolinus, or whatever, the soup man on the fourth floor or something.
Need some better description. What was his name again?
Colinus.
Colinus. Yes.
Telorius, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So that's the flying saucer man, right?
Yes.
Cool. Yeah, so he...
Flying saucer man? I must have missed this at some point.
This is a man that is...
Well, you'll see. You'll see as Kit goes further into this scene.
Okay.
And Kit, where are you right now?
And what time is it?
No, we go back in time to when we ended last session.
Alright.
You should remember where your character is. Where is your character?
We started off from our room, so Ross have a great distance of 1 floor to go to the final destination.
Okay, so you're going to Colinus's suite, basically.
Yeah, or
Okay.
somewhere around there. I
Cool.
guess.
So as you enter the hallways, you walk over to where you know his suite is. You're standing there, the door is locked. What do you do?
Well, I hope I came in chameleonite cloak and at least trying to be a little bit stealthy and not just like I own the place. Right. So he lives in a single suite with 20 people of the entourage.
So let's see. Actually, Colinus Telorius. So he would be on the. That'll be the 4th floor.
Yep.
Cool. So these are beautiful large hallways embroidered in gold with beautiful paintings, huge windows at the end of the hallways, letting in a yellow-orangey light. As you sneak in, you know that you can't move into the light and be hidden in any kind of way. But staying in the shadows, people at the end of the hallway might not see you, at least. There is a large wooden door with various insignias on it. It clearly indicates that someone very important is staying here. What do you do?
This man was so important, they made a custom door for him.
Yes, indeed.
Oh,
There's no one outside though.
Hmm.
And you
All
don't
right.
know if he's there.
I don't expect those doors to have actual peeping keyhole.
Maybe not this way at least, like into the suite. That would kind of defeat the purpose, but maybe the other way. I don't know. What do you do?
Maybe, yeah. Okay, so Ross would like to take a walk around the corridor and see if they have any, how it's called, the ventilation shaft going into this room. We probably should, but they might be just not the video game big enough.
Well, you know, I like stealth so much that they are, actually. So I just decided
That's
that
great.
yeah. I'm a big fan of stealth games, so every building in my universe has those man-sized ventilation shafts.
Yes.
Just because I love that whole thing.
With the really slowly rotating.
yes, exactly. With a light and a little bit fog in the background, like it's beautiful. And then, yeah, it has everything you could have dreamt of, kids. And
Great.
you open this grate and you climb inside.
Ross closes great because this is stupid to leave it open.
Yeah. So you slither inside, and you sort of move through the maintenance areas of the auberge. There is a little problem though. There's no entrance into the suites themselves. There's just a little slit where you can barely see some light from inside the suite when you sort of snake your way through there.
So how much can Ross see from this?
Just slight, just some light coming through. You can't see any shapes or anything. It's like you climb through these man-sized things and then you lean down and you see that it's actually just a little slit leading into the apartment. Big enough for you to maybe overhear something or throw something in there, but that's about it.
A business card.
A business card, yeah. What do you want to do?
Do I hear anyone in the suite?
Not at all. It is completely quiet. In fact, you can do an awareness test for me.
That's great. I'm really
Minus
bad at
10. Just to see if you can hear the entire suite.
Oh, I actually do.
Jesus. You hear the shit out of that suite. There's no one there.
I heard it's almost as good that I can manage to see the basic layout of a room.
It's like echolocation. You make a noise and it's like, oh god, there's 3
No,
rooms.
actually, Ross still remembers the floor plan.
Yeah, for sure. But there's no one there. Not a soul.
Alright.
You would
So-
have heard them.
I imagine that this seat is actually like a big old panel that can be unscrewed, but it have, you know, not a lot of space or what. Or it's actually fused into the wall.
No, I'm not understanding you. What?
Is this opening to the thing between the ventilation shaft and the room actually like a panel that is
No, it's completely
bolted down?
solid. Plasticrete.
What a weird design.
It's completely solid and there's a little slit going on.
So it's not something you can detach and reattach.
You would have to drill through it with a lash cutter.
No, I wouldn't. There is no way Ross will be able to actually fix it in a way that it looks undamaged.
No, I don't think anyone could do that either, to be honest. It's pretty solid. You lay there for a while just listening, and you think there's some
Is
bugs
there
in
like
there.
anywhere else, any other access to this room, or this is the only one?
As far as you know, there's only the door.
I'll know if it makes sense to stay here for longer. But I remember that Ross have 2 cameras, so she can leave one here just for as a listening device, and
Interesting.
come back when she ran out of batteries or something.
So the way I picture it is you as an agent would have some way of making that camera very, very small. And putting it at the bottom of the slit. It's not unreasonable that you would be able to film through this little hole.
Well, that's very convenient. Alright, I actually have one of those best qualities cameras. I don't know from where, but yeah.
Excellent. So you put it down, you press
Probably
the record
from
button.
one of the bosses we killed before. So yeah, I put it down here and just let it do its job. Ross will probably return for it tomorrow or something.
Awesome. So you crawl back. As you crawl back, you hear someone in the hallway.
I think I can wait until they stop moving.
Yep. So this whole operation takes quite a while. In the end, you lay there and you think there's no one in the hall. You sort of kick open the little door and climb down, slither down to the ground.
Great. Alright, I guess that's everything I could have done this time.
Awesome. So, sort of jogging back to the elevator, you get back, and at some point, unless anyone else want to do anything, I imagine you meet back at your room.
I think Janetti is going to go and reacquire her equipment from the cache that she stowed it in. So she would go off and go to the location where she hid everything that she carries. Because obviously, she, as a physician for a noble house, she can't exactly be walking around wearing flak armor and slinging a shotgun across her back. It doesn't really fit with the cover image.
Yeah.
So at the moment, she's unarmed and unarmored.
Yeah. You go onto the lobby and you get your little storage locker, open it, get your equipment out, and you carry it in a backpack up to your room.
Okay.
Yes.
So in the room, then she'll just be checking her equipment, field stripping it, cleaning it, putting it back together repeatedly, almost as if she has to make sure everything is working perfectly, otherwise she cannot use it. So she's meticulously taking everything apart: her chainsaw, her shotgun, her armor, making sure everything's fitted perfectly, and there's almost a roboticness to the way she's doing it.
Amazing. Awesome. So you enter this room again, your suite. The thin grey synthetic carpet, sort of, there are some stains on it now as you've been doing some strange things in this place, leading to these massive windows. And you look over the horizon. The sun is starting to set, and you look on these strange rock formations at the sea, and you're just reminded of the outside. You haven't been outside for quite a while, and you're sort of struck by the beauty of the room, the ornate furniture, the beds, the tables, and who is there right now? Who is in the suite? I imagine Kit, you're there?
Janetia is doing her kit checks and everything.
You are not having a separate room?
Oh no, she'll do it in the middle. She hasn't. She's not been assigned a room yet.
So that's why we have all the stains on the carpet.
Oh
So-
yeah, there's oil and unguents that she's where she's taken things apart. And,
Llewellyn,
you know.
where are you?
Last time Llewellyn was still at the room, and they
Excellent.
were deciding where to infiltrate. That was the last
Excellent.
time he was there.
Okay, so the three of you meet back at the room. Eventually, Jericho comes back as well. And you're all now in the suite. As you enter the suite, Jericho, what do you look like? What do they see? Is there any special thing about your expression? Do you look in a particular way? Anything they notice about you?
He looks like he got into a fist fight.
Have we actually heard any of the ruckus that Jericho made?
No, not at all.
At all.
You haven't seen a spot. You've seen.
It was so quiet that we actually didn't hear it one floor above it.
No, you didn't hear
That's some
anything.
great sound insulation.
Well, it's it's 40K, yeah, 2018. It's not made of like concrete.
It was supposed to be worse than now.
Certain things are, certain things are not.
When
Jericho?
Jericho walked.
Jericho, what do you look like? What do they say?
So Jericho looks a little rough, and he's been attended to by a doctor. So someone has probably like set his nose back straight, and they've put that little tape over his nose, but his face is still bloody. You know, he's got like blood in his goatee, and he's still got these two big plugs in his nose. And there's crimson probably all down the front of his shirt, and his hair's all messed up, and he smells like smoke and las fire. So he smells like acrid ozone.
Nice.
And he kind of like shuffles in. He doesn't really like walk in, but he's still got like this bag of ice like pressed to his head when he walks in.
And Ross, do you want to tell the people anything about you? What you look like?
Oh no. So Rose is a short female in her late 20s. She have long blonde hair and like currently a navy uniform. And probably at this moment she's going to take a nap at the coach because her sleep cycle is completely destroyed by this weird sneaking in the middle of the night.
Okay. Several nights in a row, you just stayed up all night.
Yes.
Ross at this point has like deep rings under her eyes. Looks tired, really tired.
No, she just snaps on the couch using like a data slate as like eye cover.
Nice. Llewellyn. No, let's. Yeah, okay. Llewellyn. Where are you, and what do you look like?
Llewellyn is currently just in the room, I guess, sitting down in the corner. She still has the mirror cloth robes on, and has been
Third date.
for the third day. She's just mostly been documenting what exactly has been occurring and trying to get her head around some various things that she's been thinking about. So as Jericho walks in, she like turns and looks at him, and then just lifts like a single eyebrow, like in this kind of quizzical librarian-esque kind of thing going on, and then doesn't mention or say anything, just assumes that that everything's okay.
Nice, awesome. You're sitting there lit up by this orange glow of the setting sun, occasionally looking over the ocean. As Janita, where are you? Janetia.
Janetia is so she'll be. Is there some sort of table in the room? I'm assuming
Plenty
it's like
of
a coffee
tables.
table.
Yeah, everything is like dark wood, beautifully ornate, carved, smooth surfaces.
Okay, so Janetti has basically taken up one of the tables and is, like I said, she's field stripping everything. So there's casings, bolt heads,
So what does
magazine
this person
clips.
look like?
Oh yeah, no, I'm getting into that. So she's surrounded by her gear basically, for appearance-wise, she's wearing a very fine, white, crisp physician's uniform with the Acadia symbol on both her shoulders. It's made of very, very rich material. It's obviously from some sort of high noble house. But surprisingly, none of the oil and gunk that she's cleaned out from her weapons has ended up on her uniform. It's all on the table on the floor. But she's
And
managed
also
to keep
on the carpet.
and on the carpet and everything like that. But she's kept herself completely clean. The most striking thing about her, though, is definitely her hair and her eyes. She has cropped, bright white hair and vibrant violet eyes that are constantly flicking over to Kit and her rough and ready Navy uniform with reserved disgust of how you are treating such a sacred uniform. She doesn't feel you have the right to wear that Navy uniform.
Ross, don't acknowledge your hatred.
But as Jericho enters the room, she looks up and just sort of takes in his appearance and rises from her position, just walks over to him and sort of, with a typical doctor's grace, she sort of takes up your chin, sort of moves your head around up and down, and sort of just looks over your injuries. Well, you've been in a fight, haven't you? You should have come straight back here. I would have patched you up far better than these so-called doctors. What happened?
I was a little busy, actually, trying not to get arrested after that happened. And when Jericho talks, is like, when your nose is completely stuffed.
Oh,
That's
yes.
what happens after you get a broken nose.
Yeah.
And he's like, he can't use his nose at all, so he sounds really weird. And he's like, I was trying not to get arrested, and kind of sort of blew my cover, so I had to get another one. Met another Inquisition agent. She almost punched my face off, and then I shot the captain of the guard. So yeah, it's been an eventful day. I could really use a low stick and some Amsec.
Wait, you found another Inquisitorial agent? Did they say who their Inquisitor was?
Yeah. I'll do like a full debrief in just a minute. And Jericho goes over to the Amsec and he pours himself a big, a double, maybe even a triple glass, and he sits down next to Llewellyn, and especially Janetia would probably have heard through Mordecai how Jericho does his debriefs.
Yeah.
And he does it exactly the way, just in voice now rather than text. And so he's giving Llewellyn every piece of information that he learned. So her Inquisitor's name, her cover, where she came from, what her objective was as best he knew it, what she looked like, what her bionics were. And then he...
These are all things that I don't know out of character either.
Oh, that's right.
Yes,
You
you
missed
knew
last
it,
session,
yeah.
didn't you? I'm sorry, Raznar, I forgot that. So the lady's name was Jill Vermosa. She was a diplomat from Juneau, and she was basically the bionic woman. So she had implants all over, very strong. Jericho got into a fist fight, for lack of a better word, with her. And the room got shot up, and that led to the situation that you heard the start of the session with.
Yes.
And I forget her Inquisitor's name, except the last name is Thule, right?
Consus.
Consus. Yes.
Constance. Yeah, Constance Thule.
When you at the mention of the another Inquisitorial agent, Genetia's eyes widen a little as she follows you to the couch that you and Llewellyn have occupied. How another agent, another Inquisitor present here? How could we have not seen? How could we have not known about this?
There's always been a lot of teams on this planet. As a support specialist, I had to provide cover for many of them. So, it would surprise me if there's maybe as many as 4 or 5. So there was Arcel, Quinton's, now this other one, probably a few others. It just goes to show how either important or messed up Aventine is. Take your pick. I don't think it matters.
Carl Jericho, inspiration point.
This is why the Inquisition is weaker than it should be. What's to stop these 4 Inquisitorial parties pooling their abilities? Even if they don't meet, they could operate like we did. Communication through secrecy. Why do we find ourselves at odds with other Inquisitors? Forgive me, but in the Navy we were united. We fought under one banner. Why is it the Inquisition treats its field differently?
Jericho lifts a finger and he's like, to be fair, once we both figured out that we were in the Inquisition, then everything got a whole lot friendlier.
Well, you've got a broken nose. Did that happen before or afterwards?
Technically afterwards, but I did ask her to break my nose, so, you know, I really can't blame anybody but myself for that one.
I see. Fair enough. Well, obviously you've had a trying time, but what would be the next course of action? You say you killed captain of the guard.
Yeah.
Is there no suspicion about that? Are you? Do you have? Yes. Well, what happened to that?
Yeah. So there's plenty of suspicion. However, it's a long story. So the plan, we're on like plan D now. I don't even know, but the deal is this: I'm masquerading as a member of Lord Starlock's personal intelligence and secret police service, a man named Colonel Emmett Kane. And I told them, I told Mr. DeWallace, who is someone that's under my influence, that I was dispatched here along with my team. Actually, I don't think I mentioned my team yet, but I will.
Are we your team?
Well, yeah, Ross, who else would it be?
Huh.
But I told him that we were dispatched here in order to protect what this location houses. And he is currently in the process of verifying my identity, so if Mordecai doesn't, come through with his Adeptus Mechanicus wizardry, then we're kind of fucked, actually.
Oh, shit.
That's when you roll a 99. Or no,
Dude,
96.
are you even kidding me right now? That's
Lord Zadok's
amazing.
Army enters a room.
That's amazing clear-sightedness. Yeah, I could just tell you, I did roll exactly 99.
Wow.
Yeah, that's,
Wow.
I guess
That's amazing.
somewhere in the background, Mordecai failed his test.
I literally rolled the dice, and then you said, "Oh, I bet you rolled 99," And I'm looking at 9 on the table. That's amazing.
Of course.
Jesus.
I don't suppose I could spend a fate point to let you re-roll that.
It is an important part of your quests.
Because he's an NPC.
Yeah. No.
Not even
I shouldn't have said that
inspiration,
maybe,
Mortal.
but it's like
Can
a
we
background thing.
transfer fate points into NPCs?
To random people, random citizens.
You
Ah.
can if you're an Inquisitor, but
You can if you're Inquisitor. You're close. You're close to Inquisitor.
Yeah, we are.
Okay. Yeah. Do it. So I'm gonna roll again.
I will spend a fate point.
Yeah. I'm not gonna reveal what happened. He's a part of your group, basically. So you can technically, I think, share fate points with your group, can't you? You spend a fate point and give
No,
it to
but-
one of your group. That's in another game,
But
maybe.
yeah, you can't. But even NPCs can spend fate if they need to. Actually, check that because I had Tetricus for a while.
Yeah, central NPCs who are like important. He's in between, but none of this matters. This is behind the curtains things. Yeah, go on.
But you mentioned
What you
it.
do? Yeah, I had to because it was so weird. Like looking at 99, and then you say 99. Okay, what do you guys do?
Well, Genetia sort of stands up and proffers a hand to Llewellyn. We haven't actually been introduced yet. I'm Genetia. I was codename as ASO. Part of the. Wait, is Llewellyn? No, she wasn't part of the.
No, she's not Ordo Xenos.
Hmm.
I'm part of Jericho's team.
She looks at this person's hand and then, I guess without missing a beat, she just extends her like scrib times hand instead of her regular one.
You're not gonna tattoo me with those, are you?
She just smiles. She's like, oh, don't worry about it. Won't hurt.
That gets a laugh from Genetia. Well, I might take you up on that. Tattoo's always a nice thing to have.
She doesn't do anything untoward. She just, just gives it a good shake.
Right. There isn't any other people that I haven't met yet, is there, Jericho?
I don't think so. No.
Okay.
Welcome to our happy band of marauders.
I think you'll find it's a sisterhood at the moment, if you take a look at the room.
Actually, that's true. Jericho looks around and he's like, "There's a whole lot of
Bunch of
women."
chicks.
Well, what do we do then?
Ross stops like laying on the couch and sits like a normal human being and start to think and like says to Jericho, "Hey, that's very worrisome about the cover. Do you maybe want to check what the local guard thinks about us in the logs? We have your friend's password."
Jericho thinks about that for a second and he's like, "Actually, I'm very tempted by that, but maybe let's not kick the hornet's nest since I already stirred it up pretty bad. But just kid, have you been sleeping?"
Just right now.
Right.
And she just like pick her pillow and put it on her knees.
You get an expression point, Ross.
So, what we could do is put some eyes on the guards. I should probably lay low and be somewhere that they can find me, which to me means the suite. However, I would actually appreciate it if all of you were not here whenever they came. What we'll do is we'll set up a... Yeah. We'll set up a time for our communication, let's say 3 or 4 hours from now. If you haven't heard anything from me, then it's probably not safe to return to the room. If you have heard something, then it's okay. If you haven't, then I don't know. We'll need to figure out how to maybe get out of the average or maybe even come in under a different cover or something like that.
Ross looks like for a second thinking like, how?
I have not thought that far ahead yet, Ross.
Alright.
I suppose Mordecai can work some magic if we need to exfiltrate and re-infiltrate.
Maybe. I think at this point we should start coming up with contingency plans. Just in case.
That would be smart.
So,
Do you have
what
any
exactly
information?
is the current plan then?
The current plan, if Mordecai is able to do his interception. So, what I did is I gave them a phone number in order to verify my identity as a member of a unit called Detachment 12. Detachment 12 is the secret police, kind of a arm of the PDF, operate under Lord Sarwak, that kind of thing. If Mordecai can intercept the call from Aber Abraj back to Lord Sarwak's palace and redirect it to himself and verify my identity, then I and probably a couple members of the team are going to masquerade as members of Detachment 12, especially those that we could get downstairs and get into their security systems. The rest of us will probably continue as rogue traders, and in that case what we'll end up doing is saying that my cover is separate from yours, that you are actually rogue traders and that you are actually here from outside the city. I think that's still very beneficial for us. However, I am certainly open to suggestions.
Well, my cover is still intact with the noble house. I can move freely amongst the Alberge for the moment. But I must return to them presently. Actually, I cannot be away from them too long without raising some suspicion.
Very much, and you probably shouldn't be seen with us for the next couple hours anyway.
That might be smart. I'm trying to think of a way of putting this. The establishment that we sat down and debriefed each other in, where we met Jill, might be a good location to rendezvous once I've returned to my noble.
That sounds good to me. Also, if you get the chance, Janetia, put eyes on the guards, see if anything's amiss, hang out in the lounge, that kind of stuff. See if you overhear any rumors from anybody talking about what may or may not have happened. So, after Jill, or whatever her name is, beat the crap out of all of us, she basically stormed out of the room. I'd kind of like to know what happened to her.
Did she give you any form of contact, or is she just a rogue element at the moment?
Rogue element.
She, Janetia sort of sighs and puts her fingers onto her forehead. I despise rogue elements. You never really know what they're going to do. Okay. Do we know any? Do the guards do they have a haunt? Is there a particular establishment that they like to congregate in?
The third floor is the common floor, and it's got all the hookers and booze and slaves and drugs, everything that you could possibly want as a guard.
It might be possible for me to concoct some serum or some other potentate that would loosen the lips of a guard. I might be able to slip some toxins and get a little more information than otherwise. I believe that there is a black market location somewhere on Alberge. I might have to pay a visit to them as well.
They're on the third floor. Talk to a guy named Enrique. You could probably drop by Dave, it might help.
I will do that. Okay. Excuse me then, everyone. I must return to my noble. They'll be missing me.
As Genethia leaves the room, you're left
What
in the
a
room
weird
looking
woman.
at it. Yeah.
Don't she know that guards are normally intoxicating themselves willingly?
Well, yeah, that's the thing. If you think about it, people, even when they're drunk, they will still hold on to certain bits of information. So, making it a little bit quicker and easier, and she's
Okay.
kindness.
Alright guys, you'll get an inspiration point for awesome roleplaying. And you're looking out over the sunset. It's throwing this dim light throughout the room, and you're all getting tired. Your eyes sort of starting to feel heavy. You're all exhausted. When suddenly you see some light on your Vox device. Jericho.
Pick it up.
You hear a voice going, "Hello?"
Hello.
"Yes, I checked it out, and why don't I just come up to you and have a talk?"
Do you want to meet somewhere more private?
"No, it's fine." After a while,
So-
the rest of you... Yeah, what do you want to do, Jericho?
I was just gonna say I was just gonna tell him that not everyone here is in the know.
So he's gonna agree for you to walk down to the lobby and meet him there.
Okay. As I am walking to the lobby, look for any guard postings or anything like that. Make sure that Llewellyn and Ross know what the situation is. That Devalis might be capturing Jericho or something like that. So, if they've got gear, then make sure to have it on.
Where are you heading? To the lobby?
Yeah, he's gonna go meet Devalis to talk about his new cover. Devalis tried to verify his identity.
Put gear on? Is that what he said?
Yeah, if something happens when they take Jericho, they'll probably try and storm the room or something like that. If Mordecai wasn't successful.
Oh, okay.
So many hours ago, when Jericho ordered everyone to leave the room, Ross just pretended and she slammed the door and then activated the chameleonite cloak and went to sleep in that.
Nice.
Somewhere in the room.
Okay. Jericho, are you leaving down to the lobby?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, down the lobby.
We can automate this as well. You enter a large lobby area with beautiful stone tiles, bright lumen globes, a few servo skulls hovering up near the ceiling. It has flawless, beautiful appearance of white metallic tiles. You also see a large elevator. You notice at this time a dining hall that is open. Usually the door is closed. Several important looking figures sort of drift and mingle around the entrance. You see the opening to prayer rooms, candles lit everywhere, and there's chanting in a small imperial shrine inside. You're surprised for a moment to see some official imperial insignias, which you don't see in many places on Aventine. And at the end of the hall, you see Draco standing there with the second-in-command of security. And he gives you a single nod and points to a door next to the reception.
Cool. Head in.
We can automate this. So basically, he's going to tell you that in his conversations he talked to Marcus Conti. Marcus Conti is your contact in the Sanatorum.
Yep.
And he has confirmed basically your whole story. And this first number that he received just referred to Marcus Conti, who then said the rest of the information, as he is privy to this sort of thing. And everything checks out. You are allowed to travel freely around the Auberge. but you are not allowed in the Apex. Now, on the topic of that thing on the Apex, we can go straight to that. Everything else has been cleared up. So you're sitting in the room. It's a single table, a couple of chairs, and he goes, "So, why are you here? And is there anything I can do to help?"
There are some things that you can do to help, yes. But let's talk about why I'm here. So, first I have a question. Did you capture the Inquisition agent? Is she in your custody?
We did not. She escaped.
I see. Jericho sits back, and he has a much different demeanor now than what he used to. He sits back, and Davalos can tell, he's not stalling for time. He's actually really thinking. And he says, "I'm here to protect what's in the Apex." So...
What's in the Apex? I'm not sure I'm following you.
Jericho looks up at him and says, "You don't know?" "No, of course you don't know." "Interesting." Jericho crosses his legs, and he looks at Davalos. "This facility is more important to Lord Sarawak than you can possibly imagine."
That's strange, because we haven't had much contact with him lately. Avery is mostly doing his own projects now. I think he hired someone from an off-world, perhaps Juno. They should be arriving soon. There's talk of a project. That's all I know. Security is up, but there's been several strange incidents. He opens a folder, and he shows you reports from basically several weeks where they've had a lot of strange people that they've had to basically send away as their identity didn't match.
So Jericho looks through all of them, like he reads all of the reports. And are there any pictures or anything like that? Anything to identify the people?
Oh yeah. Among them, you recognize some names from the Inquisition, from the Ordocinos, and one especially is a lead to a Icarus, codename Icarus. That is all they have on that. And this was a strange figure who gave two different identifications, and then at the end was just called out by an important figure in the Senatorium and was bailed as he was caught trying to break into the facility.
Interesting. How did he try and break in?
He was trying to break into the Apex. So he was hacking the elevator.
Jericho laughs and says that's a fool's errand. The facility's security is far too tight to hack the elevator.
He goes, "Oh no. He had first disabled the security system. That's why we had to upgrade it, you see?"
Wait, he disabled your security system? Jericho
Yes.
leans forward.
Yes. I don't know if it was him, but that happened. Right afterwards, we were lucky to catch him as he was breaking in.
But you captured him.
We did not. He was bailed out, like I said, by someone in the Senatorium.
Ah. Very interesting. Members of the Inquisition rarely work alone, Mr. Davalos. If you can find one, you can bet there's others, like cockroaches.
I just can't for the life of me understand what they want to hear. What are they after?
Jericho just smiles a little bit and says, "Truth to be told, I am not privy to that information myself. All I know is how important the facility is and my instructions. And as I'm sure you are in the same fate as I am, that you know that those instructions are followed to the letter, without question."
He nods.
So you said you recently upgraded your security systems. Is that upgrade complete?
He looks a little hesitant for a second. Yes. This facility
Excellent.
is secure.
Very good. When was the upgrade completed, and have tests on the security system been run?
Every day. And it was completed a week ago.
Very good, Mr. Davalos. Or should I say Captain Davalos now?
He gives a slight smile. No, I'm afraid not. Or rather... Alden's replacement is gonna be arriving tomorrow.
Unfortunate. Well, my previous offer still stands, regardless of Mr. Alden's replacement.
He walks over to one of the data pads, presses a couple of buttons, and you see a light on the pick thief in the corner of the room shut off. He sits down on the chair and goes, I'm listening.
So, the offer previously was to move you back to Lord Sarlok's palace. And at the time, I wasn't really able to tell you what the details of that offer might be. But as you know my real identity now, you're able to see more of what you'd be getting into. Now, don't worry, you wouldn't necessarily be a field agent, but you would be supporting other agents in the field.
Anything beats this job.
Is it so bad, Mr. Davalos?
Yeah. No one trusts me. Basically here to do the maintenance work, and I've been doing this my whole life. I'm gonna die here.
Wow.
He looks down at the table and it's just got empty eyes. Completely crushed.
I'll tell you what, Mr. Davalos. What I need to do now is inspect the security system. Make sure that you are secure. What I'm going to do is look for any weakness that I can potentially see. As someone who is trained in dealing with these inquisitorial agents, perhaps I'll find something that your own team, as good as they might be, might have missed.
He looks at the door and goes, we've hired the best. I don't see how you could do any more. I mean, we've done everything we can.
Jericho just smiles slightly, and he says, that's true. However, if you recall the incident in room 502, 3 of your best fell while I fought the woman in hand-to-hand combat before you even got there. I understand that your best is your best, but others have slightly different capabilities.
Do a command or charm test. You can choose. -20. He goes, alright, I guess it wouldn't do any harm. Here's the security key. Again, Aver has not allowed any human to enter the Apex, so that area is off limits, but the security key gives access to the Apex nonetheless. He hands you a keycard.
One other thing that I will note.
You get an inspiration point, by the way.
Oh, thank you. I would like to review all of these incidents on my personal data slate, if that is possible.
So he hands you a chip where you can basically inspect it yourself. And,
Excellent.
You now have all the data and a security keycard to enter anywhere in the building.
The last thing that I will say, and I'm sure that this goes without saying, however, I've learned over time that I must be explicit. My identity and my purpose here must remain completely silent.
Look, all I care about is that you follow through on your end of the deal. I get a new life, and by tomorrow, I can travel to the Palace City. He stretches out a hand to shake your hand.
Jericho shakes his hand.
When Andon's replacement arrives, I'm not sure he'll look kindly upon this. But by then I'll hopefully be gone.
You think he won't look kindly on what, Mr. Davalos?
This is far, far away from protocol or what I'm allowed to do.
Mr. Davalos, please rest assured that when Andon's replacement arrives, he will be just as in the dark as everyone else. The only reason you know anything is because you saw through. It takes a special kind of person to do that. Captain Andon certainly didn't. I don't expect his replacement to do so either. So, this is just between you and I will make sure it does not come back on you.
Oh no, the security key card. He knows that's going to him when he arrives there. He's gonna want that.
Ah, I see. Very well. Then I'll make sure you get it back in time, and there will be no problems for you at all. He never has to know.
He grabs your hand as you sort of grab the key card and he goes, I don't care what you're gonna do here, but whatever it is, follow through on your end of the deal.
You have my word, Mr. Davalos.
He gives you a very serious look. So, after a while, you come back to the suite and you inform the others of everything that has happened. And you're back in the suite. It's becoming late. It's becoming nighttime. And I'm assuming you all want to catch some sleep.
Nope.
Nope.
I want to clone the keycard.
Awesome. Okay. So after a 7-minute break, we can continue.
Cool.
Yes.
Raise now you're like clicking.
Clicking. It's because I haven't spoken in a while. Let's pick it up in the background.
Okay. That's why I have push to talk, but I'm pretty sure I sometimes push too late. Or it's starting up too late.
So, if you guys are still here,
Yeah.
my question is, what do you think we should do?
Oh, that was very fucked up, I don't know.
Yeah, the whole plan's gotten fucked. So,
I guess, like, if we actually can, like, extract this bullshit key and run, that sounds like something.
So, he
Unless
said
we-
something-
Unless we actually can clone the keycard, that's gonna be easy. We
Let's see
probably
what
should
happens.
involve everyone who can help to get this plus 20.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, so he said something very interesting. No humans are allowed in the Apex,
Yeah.
which makes me think that's why all of those servitors are up there.
And also why it's actually have no doors on like the floor plan. It's actually have probably no doors.
Well,
Yep.
in that case, surely something like a servo skull that's been repurposed by, say, Llewellyn, can be used to enter it.
Yeah, we don't have those. We need to request one.
Or create one.
So I actually still have.
Okay, the first step is to
black
kill a
market
person.
rolls. No. I actually have requisition rolls remaining. I didn't use all of mine.
Yeah, we're actually like getting 1 per 1 game, so you already have +2 for today and yesterday. I mean, that's what Morten said before.
Oh, I didn't realize we had 1 per game.
I don't know, maybe not for like quick games, but normally we do, and that's why every time we have requisition, we roll like 3 times or something.
Yeah. Well, so my thought is, if we hack some kind of servitor and get them up into the apex, they can steal the key. But we may need to disable the security system before we do that.
Yeah, there's some
And
robot
is it-
kidnapping.
Sorry, are you guys talking in character or out of character?
No.
Character, okay.
Yeah, out of character, kind of planning things out, right?
Okay.
Because I don't like to just like tell people like, hey, we're doing this.
Oh goodness.
Like,
Okay.
bless you. Unfortunately, the plan in the room was kind of like all Jericho, just because he was the only one there.
Yeah, that's
but-
fine. I mean, also Morten was there, so it was between you or him.
So what I think is, Kit, I think we give the key card to you. Like, if we can clone the key card, then we give it to you, and we let you scout out all of the security system. And what we need to do is figure out a way to disable it, which the key card might actually do. And then I think we hack a servitor and get the servitor to go get the key and bring it to, like, Kit, who has, you know, what the fuck barbecue stealth.
Yeah.
And then we GTFO.
That's a reasonable plan. I hope we don't have like this, the police is putting those like weird stoppers on car tires so we can't drive away.
Yeah, I hope the cars aren't booted.
Oh, that's how we call it.
But I do like Carl's idea of interrogating a guard. But Carl, you remember that thing that we talked
I
about?
never
last
heard about this idea because it's, I guess, super secret.
The idea that you were...
The one with chemical shit. I don't know if they know important stuff.
do you mean the one where I concoct a little tonic for the guards and poison them in the guardhouse? Is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah, in the guard mess.
Yes, I remember that one, yes.
But that might be a very important part of a plan to get the fuck out if they're all incapacitated.
Well, I think the idea was that I'd make up some Grox laxatives and basically...
That would be a great runaway scene.
just like... although it may require something stronger. I mean, it's possible that we all have rebreathers, right?
Yeah.
I think we do, yeah.
It might be possible to create some sort of aerosol poison that we can release into the ventilation system to
But that's like super
Fantastic.
extra suspicious. I think like laxatives is a better way.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
it depends, because obviously it will only affect those who are in the mess at the time, whereas a more general...
Go there in a lunchtime.
Yeah, but
Well, just see if you can give it like a delayed effect, you know?
possibly.
So that's why I
although-
suggested basically like food poisoning, because it's very subtle, and it takes like 6 to 8 hours to actually happen, which is plenty of time for us to actually like get the key. Well, theoretically, plenty of time. And then right as everybody is really starting to have a hard time, we exit.
Yeah, that could work. I'd probably have to give it to... I could probably make it, but then it would probably be up to Ross to get it into the food supply.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Because although I can do stealth, it's not really... She's a doctor. And if we've got a Supreme Infiltrator, which we do, why not utilize their skills?
I kinda have thoughts about the
okay,
moment of let's hack a random servitor. They're like some super extra magical shit, and we don't have like a dedicated magical bullshitter for tech. Or we don't.
I think Llewellyn's character is, or Reisenar's character, Llewellyn, is pretty good at hacking stuff.
Yeah, tech's pretty good.
Yeah, I am actually now. I think I have a 60.
So you have 60% chance of winning a regular check.
Let me look. Advancements.
But this is like the
Yeah,
stealth checks.
if
it's
I'm
like
using, I have a
super
70
horrible.
if I can plug into the device with my data port.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
But only if I can't data jack into it, then I only have 60.
It's probably gonna be a hard test.
So like means 30 or something.
You can spend fate to increase it by +10. Granted, we don't regain fate that often, but I think, the chance of like getting the key is, and getting out, like getting the key and getting
Can you
out without anybody knowing.
Can you auto-win this with a fate point?
Can you what?
Let's make it 3 more minutes, guys.
Hello.
Okay.
I know you can spend a fate point automatically, like win the challenge for information, like lore and stuff. But can you do this for attack use, or I don't know?
No, I don't think so. I would have to look at the book, but I don't remember if it applies to tech use. I don't think it does.
What's your role, Llewellyn?
You mean my? Oh, I'm a
Wikipedia.
warrior. Or I was not a warrior. Is it the sage?
Yeah, you can automatically succeed any logic or lore skill.
Logic or lore? That's what it was.
Yeah.
Well, you could logically hack the servitor.
I don't think it works that way.
It might be like a theoretical hack. But you need to
No,
roll for
just-
practical hack.
Just talk to it and like apply logic to it until eventually
It's actually just it's just get persuaded by your logic and say, yeah, that's the right thing to do.
Actually, you maybe could ask Morton if you could use logic to give you a bonus on the hacking test. So the same way that commerce applies on influence, maybe you could roll logic to give you a better idea of how to hack the servitor.
Or at least for this very important skill check that we really don't want to fail.
There hasn't been a skill check tonight that I thought was okay to fail.
Mine
Like-
was okay to fail. I rolled for something insignificant that I don't even remember anymore.
You were rolling detection. That's pretty significant.
No, it was awareness or something like that.
Oh, awareness, yeah.
That's not very important. I mean, that's nothing changed if you fail it. Just not get something. You maybe stumble upon it later, maybe never.
Gotcha. Yeah, so I think I think that sounds like a pretty good plan. So we try and clone the key card. If we can't clone it, we give the key card to Kit and have her take Llewellyn to a one of the servitors on the upper floor. Hack into the servitor, get the servitor to go into the apex, grab the key, get back to Ross. Ross carries the key back down to the thing.
What is the thing? The lobby area?
Well, so I'm thinking this suite right now because we need to meet up and extract. Hey man, we're still planning.
Yeah. So we can do this in character. You're in the room, and you guys are discussing.
Yeah.
You don't have to go into voice and everything, but so you're sitting in your room. You're discussing how to do this. What do you say?
God damn it! And now the actual time is ticking.
So
time is back.
Jericho, gets back to the room, explains everything that just happened, and hands the key card to Llewellyn and asks her if he can clone that. And then Jericho basically outlines what we had talked about, which is it sounds like we only have a short amount of time to do this. So if we give the key card, or the cloned key card preferably, to Ross, and have Ross take Llewellyn up to the servitors. Llewellyn hacks into a servitor, gets one of the servitors to go into the apex and take the key.
Now, what information do you have on the apex so far?
We don't have any apex. We don't have any information on the apex.
The only one we have is that no human can go there, so we can end basing our solution on this.
That actual sentence, you shouldn't put too much into that necessarily. What I meant by that is no one goes there, period.
Things are not people.
But the
servitors are technically kind of people.
Ha.
Servitor lives matter, bro.
Oh yeah.
I refuse to acknowledge that.
All lives matter. Let's just.
So the key card does get us into the apex, though.
The keycard does get you everywhere in the building. However, in the files that you had, I want you to do a investigation check.
What?
Challenging.
Yeah, investigation's not a skill.
There's something
game,
called.
What were
There's
What am I
inquiry.
thinking of? I'm thinking of securities.
maybe logic?
I'd imagine it's scrutiny, logic.
Yes. Yeah. Here we go. He wants to collect information and conclusions from a complex report. That is word for word exactly what we're doing. Scrutiny.
There we go.
It's challenging scrutiny.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not me.
Challenging is minus 20.
Challenge is minus
Challenging
nothing.
is 0.
Minus
Oh,
nothing.
zero. I assume we can all roll this, right?
So this is you looking over the files for the night. Nothing in particular. This is just your process.
There we go. I re-rolled with inspiration.
Beautiful. So, in looking through the files, you see that there is a special key card that could get someone to the top floor, where Aver's own office is. That key card only has one copy, and Aver himself has it. However, your key card gets you to the third top floor. So there are 2 floors above the one you stop at with this key card. And you see the full sort of map of the apex. It has 3 levels. And the first area is maintenance corridors that just twist around in a long, winding way. They lead to the servants' quarters. Then you have the second floor, which is a servitor factory with various cybernetic augmentation. You're not really sure if it's just a factory or research or what they're doing. But it is right next to a plasma reactor core. The plasma reactor core is connected to the waterfalls around the auberge. There's also some officio corridors, and finally they lead up in one elevator to a very, very heavily guarded door that leads to the officio, which is Aver's own offices. There is no indication of how to get in there. It is just a black spot.
Can we copy the keycard?
So, that's what you get from the reports. Llewellyn, you're looking at the keycard and you're basically want to copy it. Do you have any materials that would be relevant?
Any materials?
That would be relevant for this.
Spare keycards or something like that.
Oh, like
Can we assist?
Oh yeah. You're all sitting in the room, like role play if you want. That would be awesome. Like
I have data slate, Chrono. I've got
there's a Chrono. That'll do it.
Utility
That's fine.
mechadendrite that I don't have installed.
Nice.
Utility mechadendrite that you don't have installed.
Yeah, a constructor interface augmetic, a lumen capacitor, a mind impulse interface unit that I don't have installed.
Oh wow.
I've got tools that are used for
Combi tools?
not a combi tool. I have the like the crafting tools for
okay.
mechanic stuff.
Okay.
An
Nice.
extra data slate, a
Very
personal
nice.
cogitator.
Yep.
Okay.
That's gonna do it. That's gonna do it. Just checking if you have any kind of
I got a whole
with you.
bunch of like random parts. and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm just picturing it in my head that you're putting all of this out on the floor or something, and you're just making
Especially
this.
the utility mechadendrite. She just kind of like whips it out like a whip and just slings it on the table.
that?
It's like 3 meters long.
Yeah, exactly.
It
Just like
actually
a-
looks like a garden hose when it's not plugged.
Yeah, it's like a 3-inch thick snake-like cable that you just whip out.
It still has some of the blood stains on it from its original owner.
Lowland, why are you
Awesome.
carrying a garden hose with you?
It's not a garden hose. This is a highly sophisticated piece of equipment. She like waggles it at you, and the end of it like kind of like clamps like open and closed.
Like, Orosus just understands what he's like, oh god, Emperor. Are
Okay,
you
then.
harvesting those from people on the streets?
Whoosh. Okay, guys. So, Llewellyn, you sit down and want to forge a keycard. You can do a -30 deceive check.
Deceive.
That's
Yeah,
probably not-
there's an alternate rule, I'm pretty sure, in deceive, which is forgery. It's an alternate use.
But it's
Okay.
probably
Of
not
that
on a
skill.
fellowship, but on intelligence.
It's fellowship.
Or intelligence,
Yeah.
it's like drop down list.
So it's. I'm not sure if
Probably
it
not
is,
on
I'm not sure if
fellowship
it
right
is deceive. You might want to look that up, but there is something called forgery in the rules.
Yeah, deceive is
assume-
used for forgery.
Okay, there we go. So it was correct. Yeah. I'm gonna let you use intelligence for this, of course,
That would be very weird.
because that is
to
your
do
strongest
fellowship.
characteristic. -30.
It just tries to convince the card to, this is what you're meant to do.
Yeah.
It would be beneficial for us if
Listen
you
to
would look
reason.
like this.
There's like almost no chance of me getting this.
Well, so
I have it. I have a slightly bought in the sea.
So if this is really like a forgery test, I would say Jericho has a benefit here because he actually has
Forgery kit.
well, not just that, but he actually has one of his talents from Infiltrator lets him do a forgery in half the time.
Ah,
Very nice.
So,
Alright, so with that awesome ruling, Jericho, why don't you go ahead and do 2 tests on this to try to make this keycard?
for Dissy,
Or is
I'll
it?
do
You
roll
can
for
choose how
assisting
you, what do you want
because
to use it?
We probably
Intelligence, whatever.
want Levlin, assist, and maybe Rose.
yeah, if you guys could assist, that would be great because it is.
So I'm gonna
Hard
allow
to
a
find.
I'm gonna allow a plus 10 for this. For the assistance.
Should we roll something as assistant, or we just
Nope,
like
don't need to do
holding
that.
the light and
You're
sponge
holding the
against,
light, rubbing his
Jericho's-
shoulders, you know.
Yes, he's like a surgeon.
Oh yeah, that was really hard, Jericho. Wow.
Well, he's like his class is based around. He has a talent
Yeah,
that-
but
that gives
before
him
you
a-
rolled, you were like, "This is gonna be challenging." Oh man, 82. Jesus. Yeah, no. You of course succeed in making this keycard, quite miraculously as well to the people around you. What parts do you make it out of, and how the hell do you actually do this?
So I imagine like Llewellyn sets up all the tech, and Jericho is like, "I've done this in theory, but I'm not really a technical guy," and so he is telling her like the basics technically of what to do. And basically, I imagine this is like an RFID. And so she sets up this like RFID scanner cloner device. Jericho like swipes the badge against the RFID scanner that Llewellyn sets up. And then it creates an identity. It completely clones the card. And then Jericho actually sits down and like starts, rather than using the card's distinct identity, he actually like creates one for this particular card, and that's what his check is about, is the identity that card now contains. Yes, it opens everything and it has the same access level, but it's kind of like somebody else now, somebody authorized to use the system.
That's kinda
Awesome. You get an inspiration point. You as well, Dublin.
weird.
And you sit there with the finished key card in the room, and what do you guys do? You have basically the whole night. You're gonna sleep through the night, or this didn't take you long at all, Jericho.
Well,
Is there any way that we could increase the security of it? I guess
increase.
make it so it opens more doors.
So the only other type of security clearance you know of here is the one personally used by Ever. You have no idea or inkling as to what that looks like or what it does, what it is.
Okay.
What do you do, guys? Roleplay. You're in
So
the
it
you're in the
sounds
suite.
like-
Go.
So it sounds like we don't actually have to do this tonight. Although tomorrow, Captain Andon's replacement will be here, so we'll have to be especially careful around that. How-
He'll be probably onboarding for next week. Want me to check this new car?
Yeah, that's actually what I was thinking is, I'm going to go down to see Enrique, Russ, and I am going to pick up, I'm going to see if I can get my hands on a sin skin. And that, coupled with your Cameline cloak, should make you invisible to both visible and infrared sensors. And that will enable you to scout out these upper levels without being seen.
It would probably be a good idea for me to pick up the supplies for the chemicals we need as well, so I can start synthesizing them.
Yeah, I agree. That's
Alright.
going to take a while.
Everyone is very busy, I guess. I'll go pick up the camera. I forgot somewhere up there.
Awesome. You do the same process that you did last time. No one suspects you.
Yep.
And you pick up the camera.
Great.
So this is like an old school. You like going back and forth, like zooming back and
100 times.
forth. Yeah, listening over, like, did I miss something? And you overhear a conversation going on in there. Nothing really interesting, but after a little while, you hear and you listen to this for hours, probably all night.
God, those guys just love to talk.
Yeah, and it just goes on and you pick up some information on some interesting trades. Also that he is not at all loyal to Sarawak, and he doesn't like Aver very much either. That is very obvious from what you hear.
Alright. And they are talking about that for 5 hours. God, I hate this guy. Alright.
So I'm assuming you go to sleep?
Yeah, I'll just pick my shit and go back to the suite because, like, from what I gathered, there is not much to do in this a spacious ventilation shaft.
No, you sort of... one other thing. Colinus talks a lot about House Spextevora. He also mentions something that you might have heard before, the Cult of Zadok. And he talks to various people out the Cult of Zadok and how it is spreading in popularity in Aventine, and it is of particular concern to him.
Any characteristic on the code? I guess Rose can just look at this from like camera records or something like that.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, you just discern this from looking at parts of their bodies that you can barely see through the slit. You also pick up that Colinus was wounded by one of the fanatics of the Cult of Zadok, and it left him in the state that he is in now, and he wants to enact revenge on them. That is part of the reason he is on Aventine. And you also pick up that he is here to buy an artifact from Novak Sialila.
Sorry, Novak.
There you go.
Important name. That's some Polish guy.
Yeah, well, everyone in space can't be Roman. So what do you guys want to do from now? You wake up, look over the ocean.
Jericho, before he goes to sleep, he's going to head down to Enrique and try to pick up a sin skin from the black market down there.
Nice.
And Genetia is going to accompany Jericho to acquire some of the potential chemicals and whatnots that she requires to concoct her little potion.
Yeah, because of your familiarity with these sorts of things, Jericho, you're so proficient in this that we don't need to roll for it. So let's just jump straight to the buying.
Oh, I did.
Yeah.
So
What
yeah,
do you
it's
get?
okay. I got a 46. I had to reroll, but yeah.
Oh, you rolled for the interactions.
I rolled for the acquisition test.
For the acquisition test, okay. And you succeeded?
Yeah, 5
Cool.
degrees of success.
Cool. Alright. So did you want to acquire something as well, Janicha?
Do I need anything? That's a good question. Yeah. I'll try and go for an improved medical kit, so she can get the superior quality version. Because she has a standard version right now, and that's just an influence roll, right?
That is an influence roll. You can do commerce first if you want to modify it.
I don't have commerce, so it'll just be a straight influence roll.
Cool.
Oh,
I tried.
Oosh.
appreciate the effort there.
Oh, actually, wait. This is black market, right?
This is black market, yeah.
So I would have succeeded because I get plus 30 on my black market
I
test
still
with
rolled.
pure criminal clerk.
Nice.
I still
nice.
rolled a 77 versus 30, so it's, I doubt that you would have had much of a benefit.
Alright. So what more do you want to buy?
That's it for Jericho.
Is it for Jericho? You go back to the room.
Did we acquire the her? Was that included with the? So when Jericho got his stuff, did we get the chemicals as well, or do I need to roll for that as well?
If it's not above scarce, then you just get it.
It was just ingredients. It's not really specific. I'm not looking to get a specific
right.
toxin or anything. I'm looking to just get. The
So
ingredients
what exact ingredients and what are you planning to do with it?
Well.
Remember, while you're talking and playing, like I'm looking at different documents and changing around. So.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yep.
So basically, what she wants to try and do is create a very powerful laxative that you might, what would be sort of industrial strength used for.
Oh my God,
herd
industrial
animals.
strength. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So it doesn't have to be a laxative per se, but like something that would have the effects of one. So it could even just be industrial chemicals that
What
cause
is supposed
incredible.
to be like industrial laxatives to make industrial amount of shit?
Well, no, like if you're talking about particularly large herd
Manure
animals,
production.
Okay, so this is it. Like you basically get a bag of pruno.
right?
That's like really, really, really nasty, rotten shit that is full of bacteria.
Okay.
That's the alcohol they brew in prisons. They put like apples in a bag
Right.
and make it rot.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Right.
It's like shitty cider.
Shitty cider. Yeah, that's right.
Uh,
Made on rotten fruits and old
prison
socks,
champagne.
and they actually put old socks in it. Yeah, it's nasty.
Right. So she can synthesize this into a
Easily.
focused.
Yeah, it's like a
chemical.
bacteria bomb.
Okay. Awesome. She thanks the trader whilst doing her best to avoid getting any of the stuff on her,
Yes.
or even having to just smell it in any way.
Awesome. Okay, guys, roleplay. You're in the suite. What do you do?
I think I need to excuse myself, everyone. I do not believe that you would want to smell what I am currently making. So I am going to. Is there any empty rooms that
Toilet.
I can use?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there are many rooms in the suite.
Okay. She, Janetti will go.
No,
off,
no, wait! Go to the bathroom. You let a lot of stains on that floor already.
It's fine. I'm sure it's covered. And so she goes into one of the rooms, dons her rebreather, and begins.
When she slams the door, you can hear the Ross screaming, "You'll be sleeping in this room from now on."
I think not. And she dons her rebreather and begins to make her chemistry
Nice.
checks.
Yes.
So, how long will it require? How many guards are we talking about? How many guards are going to be in this mess hall?
So where are you planning to do this, first of all?
Okay, so the plan is to introduce these laxatives into the guards' food and drink in their mess hall, so as to incapacitate the Aventine guards, the Auberge guards, while we make our exfiltration after the successful acquiring of the artifact.
Excellent. So in your talks with Ross, you would have been told that the barracks quarters are in the basement. And that's most likely where they go to drink and eat and that sort of thing.
Okay. I'm talking about because how many she's got to make it for will affect how long it will take to make.
Yeah.
So
using what you have here and advanced chemistry, yeah, you can make a -10 test. It would take you maybe a couple of hours.
okay. Right. Chemistry. Intelligence.
So you're in the bathroom now, lots of tubes and bottles bubbling, and you excellently make. What is it you're making? Is it little vials that you're gonna drop into something? Is it pills? What is it?
Well, she's the way that because she's thinking ahead. when people go to mess halls, they don't necessarily eat, but they would drink. But they don't, and also if they don't drink, they might not necessarily eat. So she's mixing up small crystalline powder for introducing to the drink, so that the water supply that they're using, and also their coffee and things like that, can be spiked quite effectively, and it would be quite a fast acting with the drink. With the food, it's sort of pellets that can be ground up and mixed into the food, or put in whole, depending on if it's chunky food. So yeah, she's mixed. So as she's working, she's unfortunately, even with it's not a airtight door, so unfortunately the smell's probably gonna seep out, guys. You know.
Yeah, the smell is just awful. It's like a sulfur factory. It's like just fucking horrible smell throughout the entire room. Like you can hardly breathe in there, even with the windows open.
Oh yeah, no, I've got my rebreather on, so I've got. I'm trying to keep it as minimum as possible. And so there's a lot of heat being produced. You can see little wisps of vapor coming out from about underneath the door, and she makes no bones about it. And like once she doesn't ventilate. No, she's not going to be cruel. She ventilates the room before she exits and opens the door once more to spare you from the worst. Because if you can imagine, there's probably quite a bit of pressure built up in there as well due from the distillation processing and things
Otherwise,
like that.
it just would implode.
It would literally it would literally blast into the room when she opens the door.
So I think what I was imagining was, in English, I think it's called potassium chlorate. It's like a factory
Salt.
that is that right?
Anything
Yes, it is
chloride.
salt.
There's something called that.
Yeah.
Well, it smells really bad at least. I walked through a factory like that once. Can hardly breathe. But yeah. So yeah. So you make all of that stuff. And,
So yeah, I come back out. Remove she removes her gas mask. Well, now I imagine that was rather unpleasant for us all, but I have. I have powder for the fluid and pills for the food. I believe we've got this. I believe I've managed to synthesize it a decent enough strain so that it would not be an instantaneous effect, but would render a ingestee quite helpless with dietary problems for several hours after the ingestion happens. I would recommend that any of you, get the temptation to try it. I can assure you the effects are going to be rather
Explosive.
incapacitating and unpleasant. But once you are ready to begin your infiltration, Roswitha, you will find that this would be quite easy to add to the guards' food and drink supplies.
Perfect, Janetia.
In the meantime, when Janetia was very busy cooking her shit, Ross probably shared the interesting life of Colinus that she got really invested in, and no one really cares about that or incorporated into their plan. But yeah, that's just such an interesting story. Have you been there when Morten was talking about it?
Yeah, I was.
Oh.
Yeah.
So as Ross is talking, Jericho can't smell anything. He's got these two big plugs in his nose, and his sinuses are all messed up from his nose being broken. But he is furiously typing on his data slate as Ross is talking to him.
Ross notices you furiously typing. So maybe you want like videos or something. You don't have to type it by hand.
So Jericho just looks up and he's like, it's just how I do things, man. It's it's the situation report. It's alright. You just keep talking. And even though she talks about, the video, Jericho just keeps typing, and then from time to
Jericho
time
refuses to stop using his own filter.
Yeah, exactly. And from time to time, he asks questions. And Ross, you note that when Jericho comes back, before you started talking, he gave you a sin skin, which is it's a very rare item. Gives you. What's up?
What exactly is that?
He's describing it now.
Yeah, it gives you +10 to stealth tests.
Is it a sexy uniform?
It can be if you want to.
No, it's like a body glove.
Yeah, it's like a second skin that you wear over the top.
That can be kind of sexy.
Oh, totally.
Gimp suit.
It gives you +10 to all stealth tests. It gives you 2 armor for any location that's not armored, and it gives you invisibility. So against presense goggles, anything that operates in like the infrared spectrum, so like heat sensors and stuff like that won't see you.
Very useful indeed for an infiltrator.
Yep.
Nice.
And then he asks questions as Ross is talking. Ross is talking, and he's like, "What did they say about the cult? What was the cult's name again?"
Zadok with a Z.
The Cult of Zadok.
Zadok. It is something you undoubtedly have heard of before, Jericho.
Okay.
It is basically well, it goes back a long way back to some. Just to sum it up really quickly, we can go through it more, but some historians who wrote about the ancient history of Askellon, that there was some kind of heresy, and that the Inquisition was investigating it, and then there was some kind of cover-up, and someone was close to discovering what the original sin was, what the ancient sin of Askellon was, that created a pandemonium. The pandemonium is this storm that spreads throughout Askellon. And the Cult of Zadok were this outlawed group. Zadok was one of the writers who wrote about this ancient sin. It was deemed heretical, and since then, any knowledge of it has been illegal.
Sounds like heresy to me.
Yeah.
So Jericho, writes all of that in his data update, and then fires that off to Mordecai, along with a copy of all of the files that DeWallace gave him, and he makes sure to put out, he's got the pictures, he's got the files, all that kind of stuff, and he makes sure to relay to Mordecai that all of those agents are now burned, and they need to either get off-world or seek better cover.
Awesome. You get inspiration points. And in addition, for saving the lives of several of your comrades, you regain a fate point.
Very nice.
Haha.
That's cool, because I was getting low.
The Emperor smiles upon you today.
And then after that, Jericho will look at Ross and say, Ross, can you, now that you've got the skin, now that you've got the key card, can you investigate? It looks like another sleepless night for you.
Oh, thank God. Thank Emperor, I slept whole day.
At the mention of a sleepless night, Genetia sort of pats down her bag and pulls out a couple of vials of stim.
That's so much work.
And gives them to
Roswitha.
Like, use these if you're feeling fatigued, but bear in mind the after effects are potent.
Wait, Rose hopes to not mix up them with those laxatives.
No, these are like auto-inject vial kind of thing. Like you just sort of, like an EpiPen kind of thing. So you just sort of stab it into your leg and it gives you a dose. You couldn't confuse them.
Okay, great.
Yeah, they're not like pills or anything like that.
Alright, so should I go up first or down first? I think down first.
Well,
and
down would
Ross
down,
picks like this big bag of like random pills.
Oh, if you get caught, you get like some random drug dealer.
Well, as far as the laxatives go, like let's wait for that until we've got the key in our possession, and we're ready to do our exfiltration.
It might be a good idea to stash them down there, somewhere safe and hidden, so that it's easy. We can literally, instead of having to come back to the apartment, at the suite, to find them, to grab them, to go down again. If they're already there, you can just go straight there and use them.
That's true. That's a really good idea.
Awesome.
Oh, wait.
So-
Morton, have
Yeah,
you said that the guards are having actual lunch in the basement?
So when you were down there, you saw several rooms where the guards sort of sit down and have their drinks and eat and all that. So you know that exists.
Okay. I would need to go back down there to the with a very slow elevator.
Mind
Yes.
you now have a key card that opens that elevator.
Yes, you don't have to wait for
For 10 hours.
yeah.
So what do you do, all of you?
So I guess we're waiting on this stealth mission.
Yes,
Yeah, wait.
it's probably what we're doing. I think
So
that
describe your movements.
Ross
Where do you go? Yeah, Ross.
will try to stash the drugs somewhere in a lobby area in some kind of a closet.
You probably put them in a
Whatever, I don't
vase
know.
with like artificial flowers,
I don't know.
something.
What are the proper places to hide drugs in lobby area?
Okay, so first off, I want you to do a stealth test. This is for you moving around in that room, trying to find a place to hide the drugs. You're trying to seem inconspicuous, so you're walking around. Challenging.
Oh, I fucked up.
Yeah,
fucked up
remember
also
the plus
roll.
sign, guys. This is easy to forget.
I would
Plus
probably
30.
fail, but I
So
don't
plus
know.
30. Just go ahead and roll it again. Doesn't matter. Just
I rolled something?
type in 30. Don't. Not a plus sign. Roll it again, Kit.
I rolled it, but it didn't work. Okay, I actually passed the
Yeah,
first.
it's like it's no point even asking you to roll for stealth because you can't fail basically.
Yes.
Unless you roll a 99, like, or 100. A natural 100 is probably the only.
Yeah,
Okay.
you have a hundreds of a chance to. Okay, so you're walking around in the lobby area, and at any point in time, you can just meld with the surroundings. It is fairly dark in here. It's early morning, and you manage to hide some of the drugs. Now, what do you want to do? You see.
Alright.
Mhm.
So, after my drugs are safely stashed in a place when guards probably will not go after the first time, well, I think I should go and make a little reconnaissance at the top floors.
Mhm. So you want to go back to the elevator, take the elevator up to the top, as far up as you can get.
Yep,
Okay.
and see how far I can get.
Interesting. So there's one floor above the top floor that you can usually go to. It requires you to use the card. Do you want to do it?
Well, half of the point was to test if it works. So I guess I have to.
Okay.
I hope we didn't fail crafting it, guys.
Suddenly, the elevator starts to shake a little bit, and it slowly rises from the top floor. You get kind of a jittery feeling in your gut as you realize you're going into an area that is off limits to visitors to the Aver Auberge.
Okay.
The doors open, and you're in a long. It's going parallel with the wall, a long corridor down to your left. The walls are dark, and it looks very industrious. Very, it's like an industrial place. No attempt to make it look nice. Metallic surfaces everywhere, and there's this metallic grid shape on the ground, There is a lumen globe just flickering slightly, throwing a bright light just around the corner.
This
What
floor
do you
was
do?
not mentioned on the floor plans, right?
It is on the floor plans.
So, well, first I activate the stammer. This is a serious mission.
Yes, it is.
This
So you hear
is the
this
technical floor.
low sound as you turn around the corner and you lean up against the wall. You're looking down a long corridor.
This is the technical floor up below the vault or whatever.
Say that again.
Okay, so I probably should go further. I don't really know what's supposed to be actually my final thing. Probably the best case scenario is actually steal the artifact, but if it's impossible, then maybe hijack some
guys.
kind of a service call and take it over.
Look at the top
with me.
left.
Oh no.
You can place your token at the top left.
Oh, it's an elevator.
That is where you are right now.
Yoink.
You can
That is
move
not-
one move action per turn, and then we can just resolve what you see. So just move your token wherever you want to go, one move action at a time.
That was elevator.
The black area is the walls.
Where was the elevator?
The elevator is where you're coming out of right now.
Right.
Where do you go?
So, can I actually check on the floor plans? What's on the right and left? Or
Absolutely.
They are just
There's a l-
absolutely not. Okay.
There's a long corridor right around the corner leading to several rooms. Many of them are engine rooms. There are some archives here. And just beyond those are the servants' quarters. Again, straight ahead down the hallway. Once you turn, what is it, left? And follow this hallway, you'll get to the servants' quarters. What do you do?
You said the archives are between me and the servants' quarters.
Yes.
So it's somewhere here.
You have no idea.
Okay.
No. It like further down this hallway.
Hmm.
If my thing will actually click here. Okay, I can draw it. So you see where the yellow thing is?
I see the thing.
If you follow that corridor, it will lead you to all the places I just mentioned.
Right. And the top one was the engine room.
The maintenance corridors with various machinery, engines, archives and so on are the first thing you're going to encounter when you turn the corner. The second thing you're going to encounter is the servants' quarters. Then there is a second elevator. That will take you up to the plasma reactor core and the officios.
And all the servants are servitors.
You have no idea.
Alright. So, do I have alternative paths?
You look around. So this is something you can do. This is an option you have. You can ask me, what do I see? What do I see around me right now? So, looking up near the ceiling, you do see that there are some metal wires and some tubes that you can climb on. Sort of like a lizard if you can hug the ceiling.
Or in case Ross staying for multiple hours like a very horrible koala.
Yeah. What do you do? You can
Oh,
move
right.
one move action per turn and then we'll resolve what happens. If you want to move anywhere at all. And GM's warning, you are a little bit at risk.
Okay. And so 8 fields. It's my regular move action.
Go for it.
Wait, but I can get it. Here when I made the cube, is the maintenance room. On the bottom are the servants' quarters.
I think you misunderstood a little bit.
Yes,
Is it?
I know. This is why I'm asking.
Yeah. Does anyone else understand what I mean?
Yeah, so Kit, the big hallway down below you
Yes.
is where all of the things that Morton described.
Okay, and the rest is unknown.
Nope. Everything is known to you. You have the floor plans. If you follow that corridor, it will take you to the crew quarters, the servants' quarters. There's an elevator in the servant quarters that will take you to a servitor factory. Next to that is a plasma reactor core, and then you have the officios, finally leading to the third floor, where you have Aver's office.
Alright, but this is like the very important route. Alright. And I thought I'm doing more of a reconnaissance here, but I guess I'm doing the main mission.
You're doing whatever you want.
And the rest of the rooms are insignificant.
No room is insignificant.
So the top north room is... what exactly?
The top floor room is Aver's apex. That is his own
no.
offices.
The one on the floor plan.
Where you're looking at right now?
If I go for the right and not to the left. Yes.
That is just a little corner. There's nothing there. There's just walls.
Alright.
You're just walking around the elevator, basically. Everything that is black is solid walls. What is white is something you can walk in it, which is like corridors.
Yes,
usually.
but it's hard to distinguish the uncovered solid walls from uncovered rooms from just walls. Right, so guess Ross will progress towards the servants' quarters, and yeah.
Do you understand the map? This is like a combat map, Kit. So basically, every square is one movement. You have
What
8,
am I
right?
currently? Yes, what I'm currently. What's currently on my right? On my left? Sorry.
So everything that is white up here is insignificant. It is just basically corners of the elevator.
Okay. So it doesn't have like any tactical closet for
For
rooms?
sure, if someone were to come around this corner, for instance, if you were to walk in here and hide, they wouldn't be able to see you. Because you would be behind a wall. Everything that is black is a wall.
Mhm. Okay.
Yes.
So it is a tactical broom closet.
Maybe for you.
Alright, so
Where do you want to go?
try go here and peep around the corner.
Okay. Around the corner, you see a fairly huge servitor come out of one of the rooms, and he starts to walk down the hallway.
Is this corridor safe for sneaking around, or is it like horribly well lit and full of white?
No, there are no spotlights there. There are a few dim lumen globes, but you assume that the servitors have better eyesight than a regular human.
That depends what is its purpose.
Indeed,
Alright.
this is a heavily armed servitor.
Alright, and do I still have the options of this? No, I probably don't want to get into sticking test that would involve strength, because Ross is not really strong.
So there are two options to you. You can walk down the corridor, or you can try to climb up and basically slither around near the ceiling and hide.
He probably will not change the direction next round.
Alright.
So I would try to go to the next wall, which
Cool.
is like
Remember, you have a
1.5
run. You have a run
turn.
speed. That is if you use your entire turn to move.
Okay.
Your run speed is what you can do in 1 turn. So you can be much farther than 8, probably.
But you normally don't run in the sneaking games because it generates noise. I mean, like have the castle
With your 100 sneak, I don't think that's gonna matter. You run like a cat, basically. Like yeah. That's not gonna be the thing that catches you.
Okay, so run is 24 for me.
So basically, what's going on here, gameplay-wise, is that guards have random patrols, right? And you can move and hide around where they're moving, and you can also study their patrols, which are regular. But we're moving 1 turn at a time, so it's still on turn, like a combat, but instead it's stealth. And you probably have 20-something movements of run speed.
28.
Yeah.
Alright. Those are rooms, right?
So that is not a room. However, this is a room, and this is a room.
Right. So this round we'll try to go here.
Cool. So I'm doing random rolls in the background all the time to see where the guards go. Do a stealth test.
They were actually not bothered by making some kind of patrol subroutine. It's just random. They're just doing random profiling.
I mean, what's more efficient? Probably random, right? Always
There's
covering
some kind
different
of
places.
monkey
No way
test
to
is
study the
actual thing.
patrols.
Yes. But
Alright,
sometimes they
so-
just go back and forth and
yeah. They just stop on the same spot, and like if they roll 100 every turn, they just turn around 3 times. Okay, Ross, you're hiding behind the wall. A servitor comes out of one of the rooms and walks into the other one. What do you do? It's your turn.
I rolled the stuff. Alright. I didn't notice from which to which.
Your turn. There are 2 rooms. The corridor goes on.
It went from north to south.
Okay, thanks. Can I stop mid-turn and ask 4 questions?
Of course.
Like if I go here because I will be crossing this, can I
course.
look into the room on the
Yep.
north?
You look around. There are several large stacks of cogitators. Long wires hanging everywhere. Levers. There's some smoke coming out of one of them. And a combat servitor is very mechanically walking between 2 of them. And it's like, if you watch Robocop, it's like the movements of the simple machine. It's like really robotic and stiff.
It's doing
As
the
it
robot
were.
dance.
Yeah. As it walking
Oh,
past these cogitators.
Can Ross figure out what the hell is the purpose of this room?
So,
I mean, like,
using your
can I
knowledge
get
of...
to the bottom?
You can do a common lore tech.
There's no common
Last.
lore Techisec Adeptus Mechanicus.
So yeah?
You can have only common lore for Adeptus Mechanicus or like,
Yeah?
I don't know. Yeah.
Go for it.
Okay, I can't.
You can't do
I
this?
just roll half my intelligence.
Okay.
I roll it normally, not half, because I don't know how.
Gotcha. Yes, no, you don't really know what this room is for.
That's just some kind
How-
of weird.
However, you notice some equipment has been left by whoever was doing maintenance here. There is... Within your vision you can see at least 1 data slate and a last cutter.
Oh, I want to steal it.
Right next to where the servitor is.
So it's not like in the next row or something.
Mm.
Right. Is there a place when Ross can just wait around and observe the servitor without being noticed?
Absolutely.
Great.
The room is fairly dark. Basically anywhere in that room, unless it has better hearing than a normal human, you would be able to sneak around. As long as it doesn't bump into you or sees you in a straight line, you would be fine.
And where is the data slate?
The data slate is actually on the right hand side here.
Alright, so I would need to wait for the servitor to go somewhere if it
Alright,
normally does
so you
that.
just want to wait? It disappears around the corner to your left.
Great. So Ross just go real quick to grab the thing and probably not proceed in this room anymore because that sounds like objective well done.
So you want to jump over here? By the way, I'm doing rolls in the background the whole while we're doing this.
Okay.
So yeah, you are fine, and you can move back. So
Okay,
you
I'm
pick
doing
up. You pick up the data slides.
So Rose don't really look into that, she just put it into her pocket or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
depending on the size. And yep. Okay, it's 19. There is an obstacle like this one. Can I be here and try to
So just
hide
move
left
half.
or right?
Move half the way first. Just move over here, and then tell me what you wanna say. Cool. So you're looking around the corner, and you see that the corridor continues. There are 2 rooms once again, and it keeps going further down.
That's a lot of rooms.
Yeah.
I actually had the floor plan, so probably the room I was in might be the archives, but might also not be the archives.
Oh, it definitely is. Studying the floor plans, you pull them out. I'm assuming you've studied this before, so you just remind yourself of what you've seen before. You don't actually have time to interpret it and so on, but the room that you were in was actually an archive.
Alright. Oh, and here's the service quarters.
Where do you want to run? You have half your action left.
Those are 2 extra rooms, right?
Yeah.
Left and right. Can I save it for reaction in case of something?
You have a half action left. I'm actually not sure if you can use a reaction with a half action, or if it's a full action.
I mean, it's some kind of weird new stealthy games, and what I'm trying to say here is like in case of someone now.
Yeah, and I'm saying I'm not sure in the rules if you can use a half action for a.
It's kind of like a dodge, but for stealth.
I don't think I'm gonna use that. No.
Mm-hmm.
So you're gonna have to decide where you go.
That's a bad place to be when you don't know where you want to go.
Yeah, in the middle of a corridor is generally a bad place to sneak around.
Yes, exactly. So guess I'll just pick this or this part, depending on which one looks slightly better. Or if I can hear, but I don't know what's here, so...
Awesome, so you run
I
over
probably
there.
don't see anyone in front of me, so yeah, I take my chance.
Looking through the corner here, you see this is very clearly the servants' quarters. And you see the entrance to 2 more rooms, also a long corridor down to the right. So as you're hiding there, I'm going to do the turns of the guards. One is going to pass over here. Another one is going to turn around the corner and start walking down the corridor.
Ha.
Your turn.
Okay, he'll probably notice me, right?
He has not come up to you yet. They are at walking speed.
I mean, if there was a floor plan for making circles around him, I would probably can make circles around him, but I don't know.
I can draw out your basic surroundings. Not going to be much help, but...
Alright. Oh, that's a long corridor. Oh. It's a weird cube.
The elevator is down there. So he's walking right towards you, but he's coming around the corner. The corridor is
Really slow.
fairly well lit at this point.
I want to go here on the corner and decide from this spot where should I run next to avoid him. If there is no one on the bottom, then I probably hide there.
Okay. Running out there, you have a fairly good chance of him spotting you. Word of warning.
Wasn't he like behind the wall?
Yeah, but as you can see, you can kind of see the edge of your body right now.
It depends on the thing I was hiding behind. Okay, if it was like super not a big type of wall elevator shaft thingy, then perhaps I should just stay here.
Cool. Do a stealth check. Whoosh. No, that's not yourself. Intelligence.
Oh,
you're
rolled that
rolling now.
before.
Did you roll yourself now?
But
Or-
no, it was last time.
Oh, okay.
This time is
Oh
25.
my god. Okay. They roll really well, but you're basically invisible when you don't move. So he's just gonna go ahead and walk right past you. And he's gonna walk down here.
He's heading for the elevator.
Another servitor is going to walk out of this room.
Alright.
And the map now looks like this.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kinda becoming a bit too hard. I hope to get to the elevator, but now I see I might fail that. So...
So the guard behind you is moving towards the elevators you came from. This guy is moving over here.
And the guy on the top is moving down.
The
Or
guy
top.
on the top is moving down. The guy over here is moving to the right.
Yeah, I guess I should head back. Because I definitely can't go forward without one of them noticing me. Unless they are so bad at spotting people, I can just...
Describe your movements, make it cool. What do you do, Ross?
Okay, so... Right. Ross just notices those servitors that are just kinda everywhere in front of her. And I think she sees this elevator that was her end goal was to check out if the cart will work on it. I think it wouldn't. But she's pretty discouraged by all of them, and this is not a very important mission of high importance, so she decided to leave. So Rose, as she
Where do you want to
was
move?
crouching in this corner, so she just tried to slither away, like along the wall. She
Cool.
have like two different cloaking devices on her, so she's just like
Yeah.
basically invisible.
Yeah, you are literally like the same color as the wall. This would be impossible if you didn't have all this gear, and you weren't as nimble as you are. Do you want to stop there?
Yes, can I see what's in the left, right?
Absolutely. Looking through the door, you see a round cogitator, two huge generators, and there are wires hanging from the wall. There's also a table at the end of the room where you see a backpack. Actually, several backpacks laid out. And you see several combi tools. You also see a very interesting, huge mechanical device and lots of glow globes.
Well, actually, the generator was one of the parts I was looking for in case we should go with the bank from the hotel.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe Ross should step into this room real quick.
All right. So you step through the door.
Yes, I hope it's not well lit and filled with white thingies.
Okay, I'm gonna hide where the guards are.
Bye, guard.
do you do, Ross? You're looking at the
Where
table.
was
So
Yeah.
this right here is a huge cogitator. Across from it, this is a table. And on the table, there are several backpacks. So you walk over to the table, looking over it. It is a solid metal table. Everything is a metal surface. There are there's incense and candles, sort of throwing this dim, ominous light around you as you're standing there. You feel like you're really at risk in a dangerous place, and you see. Obviously, someone has laid this out here to be used, maybe in an emergency. You're not really sure. But again, several backpacks, 2 combi tools, and a very interesting gear that looks like something you put on your back. Do you want to inspect it?
I probably want to take a picture, or a lot of pictures of it.
Alright, you take pictures of the entire room. So you're walking around snapping pictures of the generator,
So,
the cogitators.
yes.
Nice.
And that's going to be it, unless... Wait. Can Ross open the backpack and take a little peek? Or
Absolutely.
it's very suspicious?
No? You open the
Okay.
backpacks, they're empty.
Ha. Okay. Ross closes the backpacks.
Yeah. Again, 2 combi tools and a strange device. Do you take any of it?
No, I leave everything as is.
Alright. What do you do, Ross?
Well, I suspect that the cogitators don't have the user-friendly interface.
It's as user-friendly as it can be. It's basically a normal interface.
Yes.
There's an old keyboard, mechanical keys, a
But
monitor
that's not very
flickering.
user-friendly.
Yeah.
What is its purpose? What's its written?
You can take a take-use test.
I'm not trying to break into it, by the way.
That's fine. You're gonna have to interact with it to find out its purpose.
22.
very
Oh,
nice.
see.
Yes. Actually, this place powers this floor. This generator powers this entire floor.
This is an excellent information.
What do you do?
Well, I guess it's time to head back, or see the room on the top. Or probably not. I think Ross seen enough. So I'm hitting here, and yeah, please update the
Looking
guys.
around the corner, you see one of the servitors walking down the hallway. Over there. There's another one coming from this direction. What do you do?
Oh,
Actually,
Well-
he's right about there.
it's coming into my direction.
Walking in this direction.
Well, Ross waits to see where it goes.
Cool. He goes further
Maybe
down the
not
hall.
in like a whole fucking hallway, but right here.
He walks further down the hallway. Stops right outside the door.
Okay.
You wanna wait?
Well, the cogitator counts as cover, right? So hide behind it, just in case.
Okay. Okay, fine. So you hide for 1 round. How long do you want to hide?
Yes. Probably only as long as I hear his footsteps being further away than closer.
You stop hearing his footsteps when suddenly you hear someone else's footsteps. And then you stop hearing them as well.
Alright, I hope it wasn't like half an hour. So
No,
I
no.
step back.
Couple of minutes.
Okay.
As you step back, you look over to the right. One of the servitors is walking around the corner to the right. To the
One
left.
day they will stop coming from the right to the left.
To the left, if you walk around the corner, you see one walking across the hall here, top to bottom.
Alright. I unfortunately need to wait for the one on the right to do something. Please
Cool.
don't push
Whenever
me out.
your turn is done, just say done or your turn, and I will do my turn. The servitor walks into this room.
Mm.
This servitor disappears into the other room.
Alright, so back to my favorite place here.
Hey,
Cool.
can Russ, when she's at that wall, can she what's in the north room too?
So
Alright.
running past the hallway, you can definitely look
Enter
into the
request
north room.
feed.
Yeah?
Yeah, what's in the northern room, but as I've been in the generator room and also in archive room, there was no other important room here, so I just
So
assumed there is enough.
looking to the north, you see several more cogitators, wires hanging from the ceiling. There is a reddish glowing light that is flickering constantly. Several lights lighting up on this huge cogitator. On a little shelf next to it, you see some items. You can't really make out what they are.
God damn it, I need to expand that. Inspect that. I have not seen any battle servitors coming into this room lately, or heard. I think
You heard
there might
someone.
be one. Yes, there is at least one inside. Can I make out his hair on the left or the right? Those are ways, right?
Very easily. As you walk across here, you see him on the right hand side. He is looking directly down on the map.
He probably will see me if I try to go up on the
I'm doing tests for them constantly to see if they can see you.
Alright.
All they need is a 1. A 2 they will probably fail.
This poor guy.
Yeah.
Alright, so I'll probably try to hide behind the wall because
Cool.
otherwise he probably will stop making the actual tests and say that he see me because he fucking tripped over me.
You wait for a little while and he finally leaves the room.
Okay, and where is the shelf with the items? I probably should
You're
take
standing
more
right
pictures.
next to it.
Great. What are the items right now?
So, looking at the table, you see one photo visor and one Dead Space earpiece. Those are rare items.
What the hell is that space earpiece?
Your character would know. We can go through it later.
So it's just loot.
Loot, wonderful loot.
Alright. Guess I'll steal it!
Wonderful. You get one photo visor and one Dead Space earpiece.
Please tell me. Okay, thanks.
There you go. You grab it carefully from the table, stuffing it in your pockets or your backpack.
To make it inconspicuous, I'll put it a post-note saying, borrowed, take it later. From my desk. Thanks.
Awesome.
Great. Is
still
this
your turn?
room of any significance?
That's a very difficult question to answer. There are several
Yes.
cogitators here.
Do they have any user-friendly interface?
Yes, they do. What does your character do?
Okay, so Rose approaches one of them and
Nice.
also tries to just make out what it does. So
A little bit impractical. You have to stand on this side to interface with it.
can I pick the one further away from the door?
Both of the interfaces are on this side.
But this further away from the door looks slightly safer.
Absolutely. So you run over to that to take his tests. This one has a -10.
Sorry, I failed my real life user test.
Oh
I also
shit!
failed
Oh
this
shit! The 96
Maybe I
is
want to
turned.
reward.
Yeah, you use an inspiration. Okay.
Yay.
You succeed. So you you see some incense and oils next to the cogitator, and you sort of do your best to do the rituals with the machine spirits, and eventually some text flicker. You sort of look through the different menus, and in some of the inputs you get more information on the top floor. There is a safe there. You get information on the latest security installation that was done here. I'm assuming that's the first thing you want to jump to since you don't have any information on it.
Yes. Can I
There is
download it or something?
there is basically, or I'm imagining you just take pictures of everything you're seeing on the screen.
Yeah, just I also don't know how to make screenshots. So.
Yeah, exactly. You're holding your film camera on your shoulder and you're filming the screen as it flickers, and it's like the wrong update for a refreshment rate, so it's flickering on your camera. It's really annoying. But you managed to get the information on the Apex, and it is an impenetrable door. You get a very vital piece of information. Only 2 people hold the key to this door. There are 2 keys to this door, and those belong to the senior security personnel.
And those are not the ones that we got.
That is right. Yes.
Is there anything else in the room? The thing on the right. It's just...
That is just a desk, and the cogitators are there for you to interact with. However, you hear at this moment there's someone right outside the door.
Does Ross know how to lock back the cogitator?
I'm assuming you just hear them as they come around the corner.
Alright. No, I mean, can Ross like turn off the monitor in case those servitors were smart enough to notice it being
Yeah, so you immediately like shut it off as soon as he comes around the corner.
like if your mom come into your room when you're watching porn.
Yeah, exactly. And you managed to do
Yeah,
that.
and I go behind the corner.
Awesome. He passes around the corner and disappears from your vision.
Fucker. This is not the desk of very important security person who would have one of those 2 important keycards.
No.
Shit.
Definitely not. This is a place where tech priests would sit in the darkness and fiddle with their things.
Have like some toasters and...
What do you do,
Huddle.
Ross? It's your turn.
Right, so I'll attempt to leave the room now.
Okay. In the other room, you see a servitor standing there. He's standing with his back turned towards you. You can hear someone coming from the right. To the left, where you came from, you see a servitor at the end of the corridor.
Is this black cube an actual cover or was
Yes,
it a
that is
hidden
correct.
servitor?
No, it is a cover.
Alright, so...
I guess there's no harm in waiting here.
Gotcha. Cool. You wait there, and he disappears around the corner.
Right, so actually on my way out, can I see what's in the bottom room?
Absolutely. There is as soon as you look around the corner, actually do a stealth test for me, -10.
I just roll 100 and if it's 100 then I fail.
Well, I actually roll opposed to checks as well, so to give them a chance to see
Okay.
some
It's
kind of
even worse.
shapes. I'm imagining it just looks like some disturbance in the air or something. And
It's like, you
also,
know, those lamps that are
Yeah.
also flickering in a different frame rate than their
and
vision sensors.
these
It's
guys
just
don't have any kind of infrared vision or anything like that, so
so much work for nothing.
yeah. So it's your turn again.
Yes, I know. I just lost. Where is the? Doing this test all the time, and I'm forgetting where the button is.
131, you get -10, so it's 121.
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry.
Alright, Ross, it's your turn.
Great. Is he coming for? Okay. I
He's
just wanted to
walking
see what's
towards
that.
you. He's walking right towards you.
Alright. I just wanted to know what's in this room. So
Yes.
it is a random corridor full of servitors. Gotcha. I'll go there.
Yes. Cool. This guy walks down here and turns around.
What
It's
a
your
weird
turn.
guy.
It's not technically a guy. Kind of. He's a semi-guy. What do you do, Ross?
Wait, I thought the guy on the bottom and the other guy. What's with this guy?
He's turning around, walking towards you.
Hey.
Again, you're virtually invisible.
Yeah,
This would
let's
actually
run
be
to
like
the
a
elevator.
this would actually be like a sneaking thing to someone who didn't have all your gear. To you, it's like, yeah,
Exploration.
yeah, it's exploration.
But I think everyone left.
You open the elevator door, step inside, and travel back to the auberge. As you come down, I assume that you enter the suite and share your
Yes.
information with the others. As you enter the room, let's do a ending scene with you and
Jericho, because
Jericho.
he's the only one left.
yeah.
Jericho's probably passed out on the couch, actually.
Oh, Ross would never try to, interrupt someone's sleep because she knows how important it is.
It depends on how long you were up there. But actually, Jericho probably wouldn't pass out on the couch. He'd probably wait for his team members to come back.
So Jericho just waits on people to end their sneaking mission. Alright, so you just see the Ross who just came in with a bunch of data slates and her camera in the hand. As she sits near to you on the couch and very happy and smacked how much he was not noticed by anyone. Like, hey, I have some cool stuff to share.
Perfect. What'd you get?
So Ross, wait. The most important thing is more information on the Apex level. So wait, that was just the amount of keys, right? What?
The amount of keys, and that there is a very secure door at the top floor that requires a special key card that there are only 2 copies of.
Great, so Rose just picks up the old floor plans and just adds out extra information to that, so Jericho can have just great visualization of the floor plans that he don't understand.
Perfect. And then defenses, like all that kind of stuff. What's up there?
Exactly. So you also pick up that for the information. You didn't have time to look at it at the time, but going through it, you see that there is a laser grid security system up there. There are also several servitors and servo skills is the thing I was looking for.
I hope it was not on the floor when Rose just was running around the whole day.
The floor that you were actually at was very low security. Just some basic servitors to guard the tech priests in those rooms.
Alright.
The top floors are much more secure, from what you can gather.
From this data slate that I yoinked from someone.
Yeah. They're also working on some experimental tech up there, some of which might be a little heretical.
Oh, tech already.
And there is a plasma reactor. Again, you know the exact location of it.
Yes, and also a small reactor that is powering the floor with servitors.
Yes.
That we probably can switch off or turn down or blow up.
So with you sitting in the room, by the way, I got a message from Carl now. His router crashed. They have 2 routers.
He just said nothing.
Yeah, his router crashed, and that's why he disappeared. But yeah, you're sitting in the room, looking over the beautiful view, and sort of anticipating what's coming the next day. You've only spent a couple of hours, so let's remember that you're still just halfway through this day. You still have a lot of time before tomorrow.
Okay.
Awesome. Anything you want to do before we round off?
I think Jericho would go back to Davalis, well before the time involved, and hand him back the original security key.
Nice.
It would turn out that you had it for like 2 hours and just give it back.
Yeah, that's okay.
Very nice.
And so when he hands it back, he would tell Davalis, Mr. Davalis, my team checked the security on the upper levels. I suggest you improve your servitor routines. They are easily defeated.
Oh? What happened?
Wow. If I told you that. So, what I would say is make sure that you use semi-random patterns rather than completely random patterns. Some areas were left more untouched than others.
He goes, how? I don't know anything about that.
That's
Random
okay,
patterns?
Mr. DeVos.
Anyway, I'll send the message on. We'll see what Aver will do. I'll leave all of that up to him.
Is there any way that you could get that adjusted without bothering Mr. Avra?
He looks sort of around nervously. If I did, I don't know if I would come out of here alive, but I probably could.
I'll tell you what. Rather than bother Mr. Aver, tell me how you would do it, and I'll make sure that my team handles it appropriately. And we'll increase the security without increasing any awareness.
Guess the way I would do it is tell one of the tech priests. And they would plot in the relevant information on the cogitators and change the routines.
Perfect. I will see to it, Mr. DeVos.
He looks a
I'll
little
let you know when we're
bewildered.
done.
Yeah. You were saying?
When he looks bewildered, Jericho just gives him a smile, and he says, "Mr. Davalis, this is what we do."
He nods carefully and just wipes some sweat from his forehead and goes, "You know, all that is great. I'm just waiting for the call, you know?" He looks nervous at the door.
Don't worry, Mr. Davalis. I'll take care of that as well.
He nods and gives you a little bit of a frightened stare.
Jericho takes his leave, and he does actually make the call to try and get Davalis reassigned.
Very nice. That's gonna cost you absolutely nothing with the contacts that you have in the sanatorium. It's basically a matter of asking them to put him on some kind of middle management job.
Yeah. So
yeah.
Unfortunately, Mr. Davalis is well, I guess I haven't decided yet. I was thinking about having Tetricus eliminate him when we get back to the city, but I don't want to leave any loose ends. But yeah, for
Rico
right now,
Duelis is his name.
yeah. For I know I keep calling him Davalis.
No worries.
But yeah,
Just
I'll
I
try
had
and
to
get
look it
him
up myself.
reassigned.
Cool. Alright guys, back in your suite. As you close the door, that's where we can end it. And if I'm guessing, magically next session some people will be in the room.
Yeah. I mean,